The way Ten Talks works is I have a set of questions that I ask, but I also ask or chat can also ask my guest any questions that they might have. But just for a warm up, Shoomimi, if you eat breakfast, what is your favorite type of cereal?
Ooh, I love cereal. I typically go for like very plain original, like just any kind of puff.
Puff?
Sorry, I'm being distracted by it's not my birthday. Please stop saying it's my birthday. For cereal, I like just like good old plain Kellogg's, but then I add like natural peanut butter. I add some like berries on there, some roasted sunflower seeds,
Oh, I love peanut
and
butter.
oat milk.
That sounds so
It's so
good.
Thank you.
Of course, this question comes up. Shoomimi, how do you eat a bagel?
How do I eat a bagel?
Yes, I'll explain the question after, but they have to ask it to every guest.
I mean, typically I don't really make like a bagel witch. I kind of eat like a half at a time. And typically when I have a bagel, I have I put some cream cheese on it, and then I fry up an egg, and then I put one on one side, and the other side I just have it with the cream cheese. Sometimes a little avocado on top, some smoked chipotle Tabasco, and a little bit of ketchup. Everybody hates that I put ketchup on everything, but I put ketchup on the
also
side.
put ketchup on everything.
Oh, yay!
Yes, yesterday my chat was flaming because I told them I put ketchup on tacos, and they were like, "Why would you put ketchup on tacos?" I was like, "It's good. I like it."
I love ketchup. I love ketchup. So so for me, I just like to put it on everything. Right now, I also really like the smoked chipotle Tabasco. That is really good. That's my favorite currently.
I've been really liking sweet chili sauce lately. It's like spicy and sweet. It's so good. Who's the little fella on your head?
Oh, so that's actually me. So I am a brain. Specifically, I am a brain that was grown in a jar in a lab. And this is actually something that people can do in real life. So I am currently doing my master's in neuroscience. I'm taking a little bit of a leave, but this is actually something that's real. But basically, you can grow these little brain organoids, are what they're called. But essentially, you have little cells that you give the proper stuff, and then it will start to turn into neurons. And if you kind of leave it there and give it all the stuff it needs to grow, it will then start to turn into something that looks like a very, very primordial brain. But then they stop it there because they don't need it to go any further. So I thought it'd be really cool to be like, what would it be like for the brain to continue growing and become like a little brain unattached to a body? So that's me. And then this body, it looks very human, but it's a little deceptive because it's a little robotic, and it's actually made out of metal.
I was looking at the welding joints on your arms. It was like, oh, the whole design's very clever. I wonder what the ethics of growing a brain in a jar are.
Ooh, definitely don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. I'm nowhere near that level. You're very smart. I minored in psychology. I majored in social media.
But still, that's still fun.
It is. When you were saying like neuro, I was like, wait, I know something about that, but not at the level that you do.
I did do the stream of neuroscience that was like more psychology based, so that was cool. Because I just liked knowing, I guess, and this is I have like a little thing on my channel where we talk about brains, and I always like to do like little fun facts for brains, but then I feel bad because I'm like, ooh, listen to this really cool disorder that exists, and then I have to clarify, it's not cool to have this disorder, it's more fascinating than anything else.
No, it's literally like when you ask a med student, like, what's your favorite disease?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, I have an answer, but I feel guilty that I have an answer.
I know. I remember hearing a med student would say her favorite disease is like leukemia. And people were flaming her. They're like, what do you mean your favorite disease is leukemia?
And you have to be like, no, it's just cool. It's fascinating how it works. I swear I'm not just like, I swear I'm not evil.
No, literally, like when I was doing my psych stuff, I would read like the DSM-5 and be like, okay, I kind of like this. This is like my favorite psychology disorder.
Yeah. Yes.
What's your favorite neuro disease? I have to know now.
Ooh, oh, there's a lot of good ones, but I think like one banger that a lot of people like hearing about is the alien limb syndrome, where basically the wiring between your limbs the wiring of your limbs just in terms of neurons are not like correct or have been damaged. And so what happens is that some people will just have one of their limbs act on its own, like seeming like it's acting on its own volition and doing different things. So for example, if I were to like button up my shirt, my other hand, the alien limb would unbutton the shirt, or like if I put on my glasses, it would take off the glasses. And the reason why that happens is because that arm is not getting the information it needs to understand what it should be doing in like whatever time. Like it just basically it doesn't know what to do, and so it kind of defers back to very habitual movement. So things like buttoning up your shirt or like taking off your glasses, pushing them back up, things like that. And then the person doesn't understand why that's happening. So the best way our brains can rationalize is that an alien has taken over my limb.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so cool to talk about, but it's kind of freaky. I mean, definitely not cool to have.
I find the treatment for it to be like so silly.
I don't actually remember what the treatment is. What
It's sitting in front of a mirror.
Oh, yes. I thought that was more for like phantom limb, but I assume that it would also work for alien limb.
It's really silly.
It is kind of similar to phantom limb syndrome.
Yeah, they're very similar. I think it's so funny how our brains could like make up things sometimes and be like, okay, there's an alien in my arm.
Honestly, I feel our brains kind of make up like everything.
It's true. It named itself.
Yeah, it's exactly. And also there's this thing called confabulations where basically when we can't explain something, we will just make up lies, not on purpose. Like if let's say you hook us up to like a lie detector, that's like fully accurate because a real lie detector probably isn't, right? But like people don't think that they're lying, but their brains will kind of lie to them a little bit to like find an explanation that makes sense to them. So then we don't freak out. Yeah.
I wonder if that's how like cryptids started.
Ooh, maybe. I think so. I think when people are like, ooh, I saw a ghost, things like that, I'm like, ooh, that's cool. But also, did you see a ghost? I say this now, but if I ever go ghost hunting, I'll be like, I believe in ghosts. I'm sorry. Leave me alone, please.
No, I have to believe in ghosts because of my mother.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
My mom exorcised a woman.
What?
Yeah, so my mom is, a doctor lady, and she used to do house calls, and one of the house calls, they were like, this woman was pregnant, and she was there to do like L&D stuff, and there was a priest and 2 nuns there with her, and I promise this is a completely true story. She was almost on TV because of this. Oh
my gosh.
But she couldn't go on because of HIPAA. So she gets there, and the woman starts going into labor. They weren't like expecting her to go into labor, but she just started to go into labor. And the priest starts praying, and the nuns were like freaking out. And she said the woman's eyes rolled into the back of her head. And my mom's assistant at this point, she was gone. She was like, nope, I am out of here. So her assistant ran to the car. The nuns were like, bye. So it was just my mom and the priest in the room. And my mom said this woman just started like, her back started arching and everything in the house, like everything was rattling. And my mom, because when you give birth, you need sterile water. So I guess it's like the equivalent of holy water or something. So my mom like flicked it at the lady and started yelling like, demon, be gone. In the name of the Lord, I rebuke thee. And then a few minutes later, everything started like calming down again. And the woman gave birth to a healthy child. And that's how my mom accidentally exorcised a person.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's such a cool. Oh my god. That's such a cool story, but also like not something I think that you. Oh my god.
The craziest part to me was that he was born completely healthy. The child was like, I for sure thought the child would be possessed.
Well, it's a happy ending.
It is, but anyway, back to you. How did you come up with the concept of your model? I know we talked about, you know, the brain growth and your master's degree, but how did you come up with like the idea of what your model was going to be?
It took me a bit of time. I think like, so I have a lot of friends who are artists. I draw sometimes, but they're like industry artists. And so I think I did draw my original PNG that I used when I was a PNG tuber, but I think I would like often show them like my what I had, you know, certain concepts, and then ask them which one they think is like I guess the ones that are that stand out in terms of character design. And so one big thing was like the silhouette, and I think I really liked like like hair tied up in kind of like a fancy elaborate way. And so I did like little hair loopies to keep it simple for me because I didn't really know how else to draw other things. I knew that I wanted what the brain dome was originally supposed to be kind of like a smaller, and it's supposed to kind of look like a hair bun on top. But it's like over time, I think I was like, no, I think I want it to be bigger so you could see the brain better. But it did originate as like a little hair bun, and I was like, oh, what if I put a brain in there? And then, oh, hold on, I could. I don't use VNet Collab often, but I think.
Yeah, you can load things in.
Oh, okay. Do hotkeys still work?
They should, yeah. Everything should still work.
I do have a lab coat. It's not showing up right now.
It
but
takes
I promise. Oh, okay. Then maybe I should stop clicking. I clicked it like 4 times. But my original design was a lot more like mech-like in terms of like what the body looks like. But I think one, I didn't really know what like how to draw mech-like things properly, and then two, I was like, I want to lore-wise, I want to upgrade to like a different model to seem as human as possible. And so that's what this came from. And this outfit, I basically just gave like a very rough sketch. I just really like big overalls with big pants, and and she did such a good job. I love the art so much. It makes me so happy.
It's really cute.
Thank you. And yeah, I think that was the main stuff. I don't know if I missed out on anything, but yeah.
Do you have any toggles you don't use frequently?
Ooh, yeah, I do. Wait, let me see if I click this, will this work? Okay, my toggles are not working with me right now. I don't know why, but that's okay. I do have some toggles I don't use super often. Despite the fact that my shoe minions, my viewers, they like to be little menaces to me all the time. I do have like an angry toggle but I don't use that very often. I have like a sparkle one where I have like little stars in my eyes and like a little heart one. Yeah. Oh man, I wish my toggles worked because I have like I just made I I changed all my art meshes with my artist permission to be like a bald version, and my viewers are split. Half of them are like we hate it, half of them love it. Yeah, but I could say I don't use that very often.
If you had to compete in the next Olympics, which event would you stand the best chance in?
Isn't like esports now in the Olympics? So technically,
I don't know.
That would probably be my first choice because I don't think I could hold. You know, I don't think I can stand a candle. Stand a candle? Hold a candle?
Hold a candle?
Hold a candle. Yeah, hold a candle to any actual Olympians. I actually had like family friends who were training to be like Olympic swimmers for their whole lives, and they almost got there, but then they were like, it's so tough, and they were like, this is not something that we want to do anymore. But aside from that, I mean, like, I guess, like, what I did consider at one point to play hockey, which
Mhm.
feels very Canadian. I'm Canadian, so I'm like, but
Leaf
I don't.
enjoyer.
Yeah, I never really did that. I think now in terms of sports, the only thing I really could say that I do that's kind of a sport is that I my roommate used to be an MMA coach, and she like basically trains me in MMA
Mhm.
sometimes.
Oh, that's
And
really
so
cool.
yeah, I think that's the main thing. Mhm, mhm, mhm.
That's really cool. Do you play Monster Hunter, and what weapon, if so?
Ooh, I have played Monster Hunter World. I think I finished the main campaign, and I'm like doing Iceborne now.
I love
But I picked Insect Glaive.
I love Monster Hunter.
It's so fun. I just thought the Insect Glaive was so cute because whenever I upgraded, I'm like, look at my little insects.
Yeah,
I just thought they were so cute.
a
I thought
bug
they were so
stick.
cute. Exactly, a bug stick. I love the bug stick.
I'm a great sword user. I just like going bonk on everything.
Mhm.
So, you said you started with a PNG. When you
I
moved,
did.
when you moved to having, a full schmoving body, how did it feel to have? Did you do like a big debut?
So before I had this model, I had like a little gremlin model.
Mhm.
It was basically, I didn't know if streaming was something I wanted to do originally. So I just drew my own PNG model. I pretty much just did all of my own stuff at the very beginning. It was like really rudimentary, but it was enough to get started in streaming. And then when I started to enjoy it more, I saw an artist offering quite like real. I was like, oh my gosh, their art is so cute, and it was like very. Honestly, I was like, I think they could have charged more for this, but it was like, so I tipped well. But I got very cute little gremlin art of my model at the time, and had it rigged. And when I first started, I guess, moving around, I did do like a little debut, not like anything too extravagant or too big.
Mhm.
Even for this model, I don't think I did anything too extravagant or too big. Um, but I think I don't know, I feel like I move around a lot, and I try to I do a lot of physical comedy sometimes. When I, even before in PNG tuber days, I would like move around a lot, and I would kind of realize that, oh, no one can see me move around this much, you know. So even because a lot of people, like, they say, oh, with your live 2D models you got to puppet properly,
Mhm.
to make sure that like you kind of get the most out of the rigging. And I think that was true. And I think I even did that before I had the live 2D model. I still like gestured a lot and moved my head a lot. It's just like how I speak, I guess.
Yeah, you have to learn to like big expressions.
Yeah, exactly.
It has a little bit of a learning curve, but I think for people who
Mhm.
are like into theater, I say it's a little bit easier for them because like you have to over exaggerate everything.
Yeah. Yeah. They're always like, make sure the people in the back can see your expressions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kieran would like to know, do you prefer hot or cold weather?
Ooh. That's kind of a tough question. I mean, it's kind of a cop out to say that I like both. I love winter and summer, but I think I'd rather be cold than be hot because I can always put on more layers, but I can't take off my skin. So I think in terms of I don't know, just existing, being colder is better.
Mhm.
But I think if it's cold, I'm way less likely to go outside. What? I'm sorry, Shenanigans, don't spam so much.
It's okay, don't worry.
Okay, if you don't mind.
I don't
They're very
mind.
sweet to me.
It's okay. I have the chat scrolled up right now anyway because I've looked for the questions. So I'm just seeing that go by on like the OBS previewer. I kind of agree. I would rather it be cold.
Mhm.
Like, I like being outside in the summer, but as soon as it hits like 80, I'm done.
Oh, what's 80 Fahrenheit to
Oh,
Celsius?
right, you don't use freedom units.
Let me see. 80 Fahrenheit. Oh, yeah. I think I can fairly I can withstand heat okay to like, well, it depends, right? Because it depends on how like humid it is too. Because if it's a really humid 80 Fahrenheit slash like 27 degrees, then it sucks so much more.
Oh, humidity stinks.
But I think I have been in like 40 degrees Celsius weather. How much is that in Fahrenheit? 104 Fahrenheit.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that reminds me.
I mean, I hated it. It was awful, but like I've been in it and I'm like, okay, well.
I did college in Orlando. So, which is in Florida. So I know how that feels 104 40 Celsius.
Oh
But,
god, it's awful.
Yeah, for the last few days we've had a streak of like 0 Celsius. And we got 8 foot of snow.
Oh my gosh, I don't even think I've gotten that much snow. And like, not all Canadian places have a lot of snow, but like, I think where I live there, because I live kind of on the East Coast, there is like a fair amount. So, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. We don't normally get this much.
Oh, I see. Oh no, did everything shut down? Because I used to live somewhere where we never got snow. So then it snowed a little bit and they're like, okay, all the transit systems are down. We can't do anything. We can't go anywhere.
Yeah, we had a stay-at-home order and all of our phones went off like at 12 2 days ago, and they were like, by order of the local government, no one is to leave their house except for emergencies.
Whoa. That's spooky.
Oh, it happens with any, extreme weather.
Okay.
Is there another streamer who's inspired how you currently stream?
Oh my god, so many. I think I mean, I have so many lovely people, lovely friends in the VTuber sphere, and I think, it's also similar to friendships in general, where if you hang out with someone long enough or you spend time with them, that you start to adopt their mannerisms a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like that. I feel like that with a lot of my VTuber friends. To name some, you've met Ellie, so
Yeah,
Ellie,
I love
one of
Ellie.
them. Honey, the kawaii bunny who's in chat right now. Do you know Honey? Honey's great.
Yeah, I've peeked into a few of their streams.
I think I just have so many very lovely VTuber friends, and but in terms of people who are not like people I guess I talk to on a daily basis, Made Mint is definitely a big inspo. Yeah, Made Minto.
We love Minto.
I love Minto. I think so my roommate actually introduced me to VTubing, and I think it was she first introduced me to Mint. And I think I was like, oh, okay. Because I didn't really have a good handle on what VTubing... I mean, I knew generally what VTubing was, but I didn't know, like, I guess, like, the community around it, the culture around it.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun, and it was so... I love Minto. I was like, oh, she's so cool and she's so funny. And, yeah. So aside from, like, my VTuber friends who I adore and I think are the best entertainers, I do have Mint as, like a role model, I guess.
I understand that. My friends inspire me a lot too. I love seeing them do like all these different and interesting streams. It always gives me so many ideas.
Yeah.
Going back to the
so cool.
Yeah. Going back to the brain in the jar thing, if a brain were to grow past what is ethically allowable, would it begin to think?
So I don't know if there is an answer to this. A lot of neuroscience, there's like a lot of different like neuroscience itself is very multidisciplinary, so it incorporates a lot of different fields, right? Like psychology, biology, anatomy, and also like philosophy is a big one, right? Because it's the mind, it's the brain.
Yeah.
technically, well, okay, well, the thing is that in the brain, we don't know how exact or where exactly thinking kind of comes from or like arises. It just kind of happens. So, and also, if you have a brain that's growing, the question number one is it receiving any kind of sensory input? If it's not receiving the sensory input, can it really like, is it really going to be able to generate any kind of thoughts? And like, what do you consider as a thought? Right? Like, does it have to be like a very conscious thought at like what we consider in like entering our consciousness, that kind of thought, or is it just, I don't know. I don't think so. But also because nobody knows, that's why it's not really allowed to, like I think neuroscientists, even people who are really like who are really like high level and like growing organoids and stuff, I
Yeah.
think they still don't know because this kind of experimentation is not
Shoomimi's
very
appreciate
ethical, and there
Tenshi
is like a
Hazuki.
global ethics board for like science in general, and so they would definitely not allow this kind of behavior, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, I personally am the exception, I think, but mhm.
Yeah, you gotta get your ERBs.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
What made you decide to become a VTuber and start streaming?
Ooh, I actually started streaming with two other friends. One of which also tried to be a VTuber, and another person who was like just a cam stream, like a face cam streamer, flesh tuber, if you will.
Mhm.
Um, but my other friend who was also a PNG tuber, he didn't really. I guess like he just wanted to play the game without having to talk to chat. So he's like, "Oh, I don't think I'll be a very good streamer." And then my other friend, unfortunately, I think for her it was more like computer issues. It couldn't really handle streaming things. Um, and I think she liked it, but I think not enough to like dedicate dedicate like money to like get like a fancy PC, just for this.
Yeah.
Um so I just really I found that it really helped me with, I don't know, it helped me find something for, I don't know, it helped me find something that I love doing. I even before streaming, whenever I played games, I would kind of mutter to myself, a little crazy. But I'm like, well, if I'm streaming, then I'm sane. I'm talking
Then
to
it's
my
not talking to
chat.
myself anymore.
Exactly. And then I just met such lovely people, not only fellow streamers, but like people in my community, who some of which are still like hanging out with me now, even though it's been a long time. And so I'm always really, really grateful for every person that I've got to hang out with, even if like they didn't stay. Um, that's okay. I think like it's sweet that our paths have crossed, but they don't have to stay forever. And I always will appreciate the time I have with all of my viewers. And yeah.
Yeah. I say the same thing. I always tell my chat, I'm not here to play games. I'm actually just here for them. I call this my enrichment
Exactly.
enclosure. Are there any things you wish you would have known when you first started that changed the whole streaming game for you?
Ooh, hmm. Well, I think in general, I kind of was always trying to think about what I could do or what behaviors I should do to be, I guess, more entertaining or like, have a better time in streaming. But one thing I think is really important to know, I did try to, think of this all the time, but like just do stuff you actually enjoy. Because if you don't, even if you think you can hide it really well on stream, people can tell if you're not having a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I guess one tip I would say to earlier me is that I would say if you're not having a good time playing whatever game, even if you planned it, it's totally okay just to pivot. And the community is here for you. Even sometimes I still have to remind myself that they're here for me and not specifically for the game that I'm playing as
Mhm.
much. Of course, they're partially there for the game. They would like to see play it, but they're primarily there because they want to see me play it. So I try to remind myself that if I'm not feeling it, I could always reschedule whatever game it is. and I could do whatever it is I actually feel like doing at that moment.
Yeah. I think that's really great because I know a lot of people when they first get into VTubing, they're like, "Oh, I need to play League. League is what's popular. I'm only gonna play League," and then it turns out they hate League, and they never want to play it. No,
I mean, I've played League, but I could never stream it. God, I would be so anxious the whole time.
Yeah, I could not do. I don't do FPS games except for like Destiny 2, and
yeah,
even in Destiny, I just walk around and like collect shapes.
Yeah, exactly.
What aspects of VTubing do you wish didn't exist, and what should VTubing add?
Oh, the only thing for VTubing, which I'm so sad that this is impossible, is being able to like sing with your other VTuber friends and do like singing collabs in a way where you can both sing live.
Mm.
I wish that was something we could do. I think I saw some things online where they're trying to like make a way for that to be possible.
Yeah.
You just can't hear your like duet partner. But that's really cool.
It would be really cool. I wanted to do that with Ellie. We were gonna do a duo karaoke stream.
Oh, that'd be so cute. Yes.
Yeah, I love music.
Yeah. Let me think. Sorry, can you repeat the question again? I think I just wanna.
What aspects of VTubing do you wish didn't exist, and what would you add?
I mean, to be fair, I think it's also very different depending on whether you're indie or if you're corporate.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the thing is like one mild thing is for like new VTubers, I guess, feeling the need that you have to join a group or like be part of like a corporation. I think that's not needed. Although I will say I'm very lucky that I have met very lovely people, and but I think I've heard like horror stories where people would like join groups where they're like, I'm so happy to have like a group where we could be all part of this, we're all VTubers, we can grow together, but then it's like maybe not the best experience. Maybe some people are like kind of taking advantage of the situation a little bit.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that, but I have heard of that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess little things like that, people trying to take advantage of other people who are just very hopeful and aspirational and just want to like be able to meet people in this space.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's tough. Yeah, I guess that's my answer. I can't think of anything else right now, but
it makes sense. Like it's a very good answer because I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, we should form a group. We should form our own corpo," and then it turns out none of them know how to run a business. Yeah. And it just builds resentment in everyone.
I guess I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I am part of a little group, but it's literally just like we're all robot girls. Let's just call it a little group. You know, like what are they called? I forget what they're called.
Teams?
Yeah, the teams. I guess that's like a bit different, but like I just think it's cute. So we're like
Yeah, that's different. It's all like your friends doing stuff. You're not like, you know, incorporating and then being like, okay, now we have to do like, you know, corpo activities. We have to release voice packs and merch.
Yeah.
Are the Shoomies edible? What flavor are they? Corey,
the Shoomies? Or the Shoominions?
I think he means the Shoominions.
I wouldn't eat them. But some Shoominions have talked about eating other Shoominions. But it has been established that Shoominions can undergo mitosis right before they die. So, they will never truly die. And there is one specific Shoominion who is always the target of being eaten.
Oh no.
And in the Discord, I constantly see people go, "Time for calamari." I'm really sorry, Squiddy. I can stop him if you want me to. We have a couple of Shoe minions who are potato themed. So, everything food wise or food adjacent.
Mhm.
Um, it's a little, I try not to interfere too much with shoe minion conflict. I mean, of course, if it's conflict, then yes, I would step in.
Yeah.
But if shoe minions are just vibing and they happen to eat each other, but then they're like not super dead, then that's fine, I think.
They're not super dead, just mostly dead. What are the good and bad things you didn't expect when you started streaming?
I mean, the good things, I think, like making a lot of very, very lovely friends. And I think I never expected to get this far. And so to have a community full of very lovely people recently, a lot of shoe minions, I launched a Minecraft server, and a lot of shoe minions built like a very beautiful spawn, and it made me so emotional, and it was so sweet, and I didn't think that that was something that would ever happen for me specifically. And so I was so moved and so touched that like people want to spend time with me, and like I guess like hanging out with me so much
Mhm.
that they dedicate time to build these beautiful things. I think that's something I never expected. That was good. Something bad that I never expected. I think like luckily this isn't too often, but I think like, there's always some people who will like come into your chats and then be a little bit unhinged
Yeah.
or not very nice, and you're like, "Ooh, okay." I mean, like I don't sometimes I feel like people have a lot of guts to talk to strangers on the internet in a way that like I'm still a person. Please
Yes.
don't say these things to me. But I think what I really appreciate is that when that happens, I think all the rest of my chat kind of like they're like, oh my gosh, like why did they say that? Or they'll kind of talk about it, or like I have very lovely mods who will handle it, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Mhm. Yeah, unfortunately, some people never learned how to be nice to others, and they see people having fun on the internet, and they're like, I better make them just as sad and miserable as I am. And then, luckily, all the happy people are like, stop that.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that like I have a lot of very kind people in the community. And like also one thing I really appreciate is that if let's say like, cuz the Shumanians like to mess around, and I'm always down to mess around, but if on days where I'm a bit more fragile, or maybe like I'm just like a little bit frazzled, and if I gently say like, "Hey, can we move on from this topic?" the Shumanians will all just say, "Okay, cool." And then we'll move on. And that makes me so happy that I could have like very open and honest communication with my chat, and I don't feel like I have to act a certain way when I'm not feeling like that, depending on the day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, I completely get that. My chat made me cry on stream, and then they threatened to clip it.
Classic.
Classic chat.
Classic.
They didn't make me cry because they were doing a bad thing. They did a very nice thing.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
assumed it was nice.
I just wanted to clarify just in case.
I assumed it was nice, but thank you for the clarification.
I'm a crier, so I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad.
No, me too.
We all hot women have two issues, and it's crying and tummy aches.
Yeah, I got tummy aches.
All the tummy aches are real.
The Shuminis make me cry often, happily, but they make me cry often.
Aww.
They have in my Discord, they have like a little channel called Mimi No Look, where I'm not allowed to look. I have access to it because I'm the admin, so I can't like not have access to it.
Mhm.
But they always do schemes in there. They plot and they plan. Sometimes the schemes are, a little rat schemes, but other times the schemes are just so sweet, and I'm like,
Aw.
what? And they keep me on my toes because they're like, you'll never know what scheme is next.
You never know. It's cute.
Yeah, so cute.
They're saying they never scheme. We know that's a lie.
That's a lie. They lie. Oh my gosh, that's the thing. They always, whenever I'm playing a game, it happened one time where there was a sign that says, if you like don't loiter for more than 20 minutes. And I jokingly just said, like, what if I loiter for like 20 minutes plus? Will something happen? And then my whole chat were convincing me, yes. Yes, it would. And I believed them because they knew this game. It was Portal too. So
I
they've played this
love
game more than
Portal
I have. And
too.
then so I was like, okay. And then they started doing that for everything. So in the chat, Hazardous Bacon just said, if you wait in this interview for 20 minutes, you'll get a bonus question.
I was about to ask him if he's making a Portal reference actually.
Yeah.
I love Portal 1 and Portal 2. They're probably two of my favorite games.
Oh my god, I just played them like a couple weeks ago. They're so good.
They're so good.
They're so good.
Oh, that's true. They don't need to gaslight me. I gaslight myself. Have you done the co-op yet for Portal 2?
Yeah, I did it a little bit with Ellie. So it's really fun. I think I'm gonna try to convince her to play with me again. But because even though Ellie and I have known each other for so long, like we met each other way back when I was in PNG tuber days.
Mm-hmm.
And she rated into me on my birthday, and I was like,
Actual birthday.
And then, yeah, and I think like we just clicked and we had a lot of things in common, but we were both really shy to like reach out to each other. I think now we are a lot more comfortable, but at the time, I think we were really scared to like ask for collabs and stuff. But we don't do a lot of collabs together, even though like I think like Ellie is my oldest and best, like one of my best VTuber friends. And like I adore her. She's fantastic and she's so lovely and so supportive and has.
I remember when she was still blue.
She's so great. Yeah. She's so sweet and so great. And despite that, we don't collab that much. So then when we did the Portal 2 collab, we'd play it at first, but then after a while, we just wanted to yap to each other. Yeah. So we switched to just chatting. I'm sorry, everyone's typing me and y'all. That's like a 7TV emote for like making out. They do that in my chat, and I'm really sorry that they're typing in here now.
No, it's okay. One of my friends has an emote that it's a sub emote though, that it's Zelda and Link making out, and yeah, there they go. They'll make out and stream with each other sometimes. I don't know why. They're like my friend says, anyone could be a cute girl on the internet, so I let them get away with it. It's okay, guys. You're allowed to kiss here. I might not acknowledge it, but it happens. But yeah, I love Portal 2 and Portal 1. I'm going through it again because I'm like, I convinced myself I could speedrun. I can't.
It's so good.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is definitely gonna be the run where we're going fast, and then I just end up talking for 90% of it.
I think that's the curse of streaming.
It really is. For me especially, like, I'm really not here to play any games. I don't care about the games. If my chat starts talking about, like, cats or something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love cats. Let me see. Chat, tell your cat I love them.
I think fairly early on in streaming, I would be like, oh, I want to play this game. I'll play it on stream. But then I get, like, no progress done on stream because all I'm doing is yapping. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we'll just save this for like off stream, switch to, then like maybe focus on chatting more, especially if the games are longer.
Yeah. I started doing an hour yap before stream.
Yeah, I do that now too. I just like I have some time, so we get our yaps out.
Yeah.
And then so when we switch to the next activity, then we're more ready to focus on the game, and I really appreciate the yapping because sometimes I'm like, am I yapping too much at the beginning of stream, But everyone's like, no, we love the yapping, so.
Do you have a go-to game that you regularly go back to for streams?
I mean, Humans love marbles. They love marbles. Um, like a lot of chats love marbles, but they love gambling in all aspects. So predictions, for example, with marbles, the winner gets to roll like a d20,
Mhm.
and if they roll like a certain number, they'll get timed out for however long. But if they roll above that, they'll get VIP for however long. So
Oh,
they love marbles.
chat, you want to see something really cool? You want to see a gamba? Type exclamation point mayo. Don't do it, Shoomimi.
Mayo.
Let them do it.
Oh,
It's
okay,
a
I was
fun
about to click
surprise.
enter.
No, let them do it.
Okay.
There they go. Every time they fall for it. It times them out for 5 minutes. I love seeing people fall for it.
The consequences of your gamba love.
It's the gamba is whether or not it'll actually work.
It's so good.
Is it difficult to keep your VTubing and non-VTubing life separate?
A little bit. I think so. I mean, to be fair, I do share a lot. I mean, I do share like pretty much everything about my life on stream. Of course, not stuff that would dox me. So
Mhm.
things that I can't talk about would be things like my master's project, right? Because you can narrow me down really
Yeah.
easily. But most other things I share on stream, unless it's like what my, let's say it's about like an IRL friend or my roommate, who like I spend all of the time I don't spend on stream or with VTuber friends, I spend with my roommate.
Yeah.
Because my other IRL friends live really far away, so we call every once in a while. But it's more like respecting their boundaries. If they, I've asked before, because I talk about my roommate really often. She's really cool, and a lot of minions are like, wow, Rumini's so cool. Is she ever going to be on stream? But she's not comfortable with that, and so I was like, never. She will never be on stream, ever. And I think aside from that, I guess like I have sometimes I do share like some more I guess like deep emotional stuff that I have experienced in my life, just a little bit, but like I mean it's not like that bad, but
no,
also it's
you're
just
a
like
streamer. It's your job to trauma dump.
Sometimes I have, but the thing is, then I feel bad because chat starts to worry, and I'm like, no, it's fine, it's okay, it's okay, don't worry about it. And so I guess I don't really say everything, also because it's a lot of detail that I feel like, it's not very fun to get into, and it's not entertaining, and I'd rather spend the time being happy and talking about stuff that makes both me and my chat joyful instead of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much the main things. But I'm really open about everything else. So
I was gonna say something I forgot.
it's okay.
Oh wait, I remember. Okay, my whole family knows I'm a VTuber, and my chat is in love with my father.
That's what is it with chats and like people's parents?
I don't know.
They love people's parents. I think one time really early on, way before, so I took a big hiatus between like my two models.
Mhm.
Just like to try to focus on like school stuff and just life stuff. But way before the hiatus that I took, I think I offhandedly mentioned that like my mom is really beautiful, and then people were like, "When is Mama Mimi single?" And I'm like, "No, no, she's married to my father." Don't stop that.
The same thing happens here. But it's like, is Dad she single? No. Yeah, my mom have been together 30 years now.
Oh,
They're
I would
old.
win is crazy.
What you're saying is there's a chance? No. No chance. Just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score. Guys, please. My parents are crazy in love. Like, they're like stupidly in love. It's very sweet, but also kind of gross sometimes. I live at home.
That's so cute.
Yeah, they know all about my VTuber activities. Sometimes something like my dad will do something really dumb, and then he'll look at me and he'll be like, "You're gonna tell your chat about this, aren't you?" Like very accusatory, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I am actually."
How did you know?
He knows. Like one time, when my dad gets really excited, he likes to hit his head against stuff. I don't know why. So one time he got really excited and he took a glass bowl and he hit it over his head.
Was he okay?
Yeah, he was fine. The bowl wasn't.
Oh my gosh. He has to have a hard skull.
He does. He has a really hard head. That's why he hits it against stuff. And then he'll be like, "Oh, my head's really thick."
Has he ever had a concussion?
Not that he knows of.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. That's like my main worry.
Autism? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. My two brothers have autism, so they have to get it from somewhere, right? I know we all have ADHD because of that man.
That's how I feel about my dad too. When I got diagnosed, I was a little bit like, I'm questioning my diagnosis. But then my dad is like textbook ADHD, you know? And in the sense where I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not notice before?
I know. I feel the same way. I didn't get diagnosed till I was 18. And I literally had like the textbook symptoms. So when I sat down with my psychologist, she was like, "How do you manage your ADHD?" And I said, "What ADHD?"
What are you talking about?
Literally.
Yeah.
Yippee. Were you also like a late stage diagnosis?
I think I got diagnosed like a year ago, and yeah, I'm 24, so I mean I'm cool telling my age. But then like one day I was playing FNAF and someone came in and was like, "You're a hag," and I'm like, "What?"
What?
It was so, I wasn't even like upset by it. I'm just like, is that correct? But I got diagnosed last year, so I guess like when I was 23, I got diagnosed. But I wasn't, I don't know. I'm still a little bit up in the air and doubtful about whether. Okay, I'm less doubtful now about having ADHD. I think I have it, but it's just more like, what do I do now? What do I do now? I got meds, but they don't, they make my anxiety worse, so I don't take them. I should. But anyway, that's for me to figure out. But
No, I'm literally the same exact way. I am unmedicated. I think the treadmill is my medication, to be honest.
I think I need to for me, whenever I go work out, I get like really into it and I work out so much. And then I have like really weak ankles. So they get all like busted up, and then I'm like, oh man, I can't work out anymore. And I have to sit and not do anything. And then I kind of lull back into, I'm gonna move less because I'm worried about my ankles. And then it's like a vicious cycle.
It's like, it is a cycle because you need to strengthen the ankles.
Exactly. I just go like, whenever I start something, I just go like too hard, too fast, and then I get burnt out.
It's the ADHD.
It is.
Do you have like 16 hobbies that you start and then drop?
Oh my god, yes. I think like, honestly, I thought that's what streaming was going to be like. I thought it was something where like I started and I was super into it and I thought I was gonna like drop it and like eventually. I didn't want to, but like I was worried that that's what's going to happen. I did take a hiatus, but then I was like, but I missed it. I missed it so much when I was not streaming. I constantly thought about like, oh, this would be a good story to tell my chat and stuff like that. And I'm really happy I came back, and I don't really think I'm gonna go anywhere. I love streaming. I think like the only thing I would do is when I do eventually go back to getting my master's, I'll probably stream a little bit less. But I'm not gonna quit. I'm in this, and I'm really happy that I get to do this. And I don't know, I feel so lucky.
Yeah. I felt the same way about VTubing. I decided to jump both feet in. um at a time, and then I was like, you know what, I really like this. I'm just gonna stay here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Anytime I have like a forced break, I'm like, oh, I miss my chat. I can't wait to tell this to my chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna take like a week off for like the holidays with my family, and I'm like, I'm nervous. Like it's going to be nice because I get to work on stuff for stream and the community in general, like off stream.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nah.
I know, breaks are scary.
Yeah.
What I do when I take a break is I make a slideshow for my chat, and then I come back and I do like a "we're back" slideshow.
That's so cute. That's so cute.
Like I went to Japan for 3
Maybe
weeks,
I'll do that.
and I came back, and then I was like, "Here's everything I did in 3 weeks, and everything I ate, and here are some souvenirs."
That's so cute. That's so cute.
It was fun. I felt like I brought them on the trip.
It's like I do that with my IRL friends sometimes. We'll do like, cause we've been friends for like more than a decade, I think. So we've known each other since we were like 9 or something. And so we would just catch up with PowerPoints. We'll be like, this is what I was up to. This is my current thing that I'm hyper fixating on. So or this is my current brain rot, you know, like please listen to me talk about Baldur's Gate 3 while you tell me about Formula 1.
What's your current hyperfixation?
Oh, Minecraft.
Nice.
Because we just started a Minecraft server and it's really fun. I only had to step off of it because I had a headache, but and now I am spending more time in my Discord just hanging out with the Shoominions playing Minecraft, and it's such a fun experience. And I was like, it's so nice.
Aw, that's really cute. If you could collab with any non-VTuber that you haven't already interacted with, who would it be?
Ooh, I love so outside of streamers and VTubers, actually I don't even watch other streamers that much, mostly VTubers. I like commentary YouTube, but specifically I like watching Jarvis Johnson and Jordan Adika. They have a podcast called Sad Boys. I love their podcast, and that podcast was actually the reason why I decided to go get diagnosed for ADHD, because they both had it. And I think the way they talked about it was really poignant and really resonated with me. And so I think that's just cool. Also, they just have like fun, silly podcast topics that they talk about. And that would be like a crazy collab in the future. That'd be so cool, but also like probably not going to happen.
That would be really cool.
So cool.
Why neuroscience?
Oh, actually, that's a good question. So originally, I have, you know, my parents, I feel like, are very classic Asian parents where they're like, you gotta be a doctor. You gotta do some like big job or else, you know? Oh, wait, you gotta raid.
Bulldog, thank you so much for raiding. Hi, my name is Tenshi Hazuki. I'm an angel streaming live on the internet with the power to restore hope to humanity and heal your heart. And today I am doing 10 Talks with my guest, Shoomimi. Welcome, Bulldog. Thank you so much for the raid.
Wow, so professional. I just like, hi! I mean, I have a song now, but before I used to just be like, hi, raiders. Okay, yeah. So, as I was saying, my parents wanted me to be a doctor, and I mean, at first it was like a bunch of different like, you know, it was like you could either be a doctor, a lawyer, or the president of the United States, because I was born in the U.S., so technically, I guess, like, if I lived there for a while, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do any of those things, but I did pursue, like, because I liked science. I, you know, when it was time for me to choose what I wanted to do after high school, I was like, well, I really like science. And I think it's fascinating, all the little things, and I was good at it in terms of like schoolwork wise. I was good at it, and so I tried to go down like the medical route. I got like a medical interview, which like is tough to get because you have to like pass a lot of other stuff before that. And those interviews are crazy. Like, it's not just like sitting down and be like, tell me why you want to be a doctor. It's like I was given scenarios that I had no idea how to comprehend. It would be like I would walk into a room and there'd be actors acting out like a certain scenario, and you had to try your best to like to to confront it. And I signed an NDA, so I can't even talk about what it was in the interviews. But basically, those interviews were so hard, and I knew that I wasn't, also because I tried to apply for like a very 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 advanced medical program where you get to start it when you're 18 and you become like a full doctor at like 24 or something.
Dang.
Normally, like, you take a lot longer to become like an actual doctor. You need like 4 years undergrad and then 4 more years in medical school. But this was like a 5 years instead of 8 years. And I didn't get into that, but my parents were like, okay, well, what are you gonna do next? And so I always thought the brain was really cool, very fascinating. And so I was like, okay, I'll do neuroscience because the brain is cool. And also, in my opinion, I think the brain is a little bit narcissistic because we think neuroscience is like the coolest, like one of the most fanciest like science out there. It is new, to be fair, but I think our brains are all a little narcissistic. So we're like, ooh, neuroscience, wow, so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think I lived a lot of my life trying to do my best and try to be the kind of daughter that my parents would want me to be. They
Mhm.
like immigrated to North America and they took, it was really tough for them. They made a lot of sacrifices. So I wanted to pay back that sacrifice by, living the life that they wanted me to live. But it made me really unhappy. And eventually, when I was old enough, I basically, after I finished my undergrad, they were like, okay, so you're gonna apply again. There was like a big thing, but I finally stood my ground and I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna do a master's instead. I'm going to live my own life and do my own things. And now I'm starting to do that. And it feels like it took me forever to get to this point. But I'm very happy that I got to do this and get to this point. I don't regret anything at all because I loved learning about the brain. It was so cool. I actually found a real big passion in it, and I don't regret anything I have done to this point. I'm happy with how things are.
Mhm. How do your parents feel about you being a VTuber?
So it took me a long time to actually tell them. I think like I told them only when I had like, I feel like parents for this kind of stuff. I mean, it's hard to understand what a VTuber is in the first place. And then the second thing is like, oh, you're spending your time doing this, you know?
Oh, no.
And so they actually don't know that I'm currently taking a little break from schooling, but that's okay. That's a secret between
They don't need to know.
me and everyone else on Twitch. It's okay. But I think one big thing that they love seeing was like any kind of achievement or monetary progress. They loved hearing about that, you
Mhm.
know? So, I think like I got like a Gamer Subs partnership and I told them about it and they're like, "Oh my gosh. They're oh my gosh, that's oh my god, you've been signed by a brand." And I'm like, I'm I don't know if that's like as fancy as you think it is, but things like that. And so that's kind of how I try to open with. And my
Yeah.
dad's like, cool. And then my mom, she used to be an artist, so when she was looking at my model, like my whole setup for stream, she really liked that. And I thought it was really nice because my mom was like so excited. She's like so excited for me whenever there's like really positive things with like VTubers
Aw,
in general.
that's
My
awesome.
dad's like, this is like a nice hobby you have outside of doing your masters, right? And I'm like, yes.
Can't let them know.
Can't let them know, not yet. But it's okay. Yeah. I hope I didn't overshare. Please let me know if I'm like,
Oh no, you are so fine. Don't worry.
okay, but please let me know if I'm oversharing. Sometimes I can't tell if
No,
I
it's
am.
okay. I do the same thing.
Okay.
Who did you vote for in the hidden gem in the VTuber awards?
I voted for your average bow.
Same.
I actually did vote the other day. So if you haven't voted for the VTuber awards yet, now is the time. You have to vote. I mean, you don't have to, but I think you should
You should
vote
definitely go
for.
vote.
You should vote for your average Bo for Hidden Gem. You should vote for Cerber VT for Rising Star. You can vote for Vedal and the Swarm for the categories that they're part of. I think that's pretty cool.
Go vote, guys. Go vote. Before VTubing, what did you do to fill your free time?
Ooh, that's a good question. I crocheted a lot, so I would like put on like a D&D podcast or like a D&D show, and I would just crochet a ton of stuff that I only slightly wore. I think aside from that, I don't know. I've always kind of been a gamer. That's such a weird thing to say. I've always played games, you know, so I guess outside before VTubing as a hobby, I would just like play a lot of games. Um yeah.
That's cool. What kind of games would you play before you became a VTuber?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like I'm a really big like variety gamer. I didn't really have like a bunch that I would only play. Well, there's like games that I more consider our friend games. So I play these like, you know, like my friends like playing like League, they like playing Fortnite, you know, these kind of things. And like it's basically just a way for us to yap about our lives while something's going on. But if I'm playing alone, I don't know. I really liked Hades for a good chunk of time. I still like it. I just haven't played it in a bit. Sometimes every once in a while I'll get like the urge to go back and play The Sims 4. And then aside from that, Minecraft is also Minecraft is also like a staple. Every once in a while I'll be like I feel the urge to play a modded pack and play and do a bunch of stuff in it, and then be really sad when the whatever server like I tried to host goes down.
No. Once you have your master's, is there anything else that you want to pursue academically?
I don't really know. That's a good question. I don't really know. I think like because I'm trying to take steps into figuring out what I want to do for my life on my own, you know, in a way that hopefully won't like worry my parents. You know, I don't want them to be worried about me.
Yeah.
But I also want to be able to pursue things that I really enjoy. I do think that studying the brain is so cool, but I think academia has a lot of aspects I don't really mesh with. And so I guess the degree is like the big goal that I want to achieve. After that, I haven't really thought too much about what I want to do after, but I mean, it would be super cool to I would love to be. It would be such a dream to be able to be a full-time VTuber. Of course, you know, it's something that I would really love doing. But also, I think it's a really big decision and a really tough one. And streaming is not very, very stable. And I think, and so on some level as well, I feel bad I feel bad taking money from people, even if they're gifting it to me, even if I know they're being kind to me. I still feel like I don't want to have to rely on my community to pay my own rent. But that is like me personally. That's just like a hang up that I have.
Yeah.
But but you know, that's my thing. But I do really like. I'm really happy for this opportunity to be able to explore, I guess, the more creative parts of me that I never really got to explore in like pretty much the rest of my life. So it makes me really happy. And I want to, the way I see it, it's like I have time to kind of mess around and find out what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so, and VTubing is like, it started off as just like, kind of, you know, just messing around for fun, but it's become like a really big, important part of my life, and I don't want to give it up.
Honestly, I think that's great. Even if you just kept it as like a hobby, I don't think anyone would fault you for wanting to go a more financially stable route.
Yeah, exactly.
VTubing's hard. Like I've been working in social media for a while now, and I see a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it big, and I'm gonna make this my full-time income." And I always tell them, keep your day job.
Yeah, it's like I think like I think me and a couple of other my VTuber friends, we were in situations where, you know, it wasn't planned, we weren't planning to be full time. But things kind of just went certain directions, and now we have a little chunk of time where we're full time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at now, where it's like I'm full time for now. So in this time, aside, my number one priority is trying to, like, you know, work on my brain, make sure it's ready to go back to doing my schooling, you know, and finish my master's, get that degree. But that's right up there with basically doing all of the things I love doing all the time on stream.
Yeah. You can always do science on stream too. I know a few people who do science on stream. They don't grow brains in jars, but they do explode microwaves a lot.
I actually know. Oh yes, I've seen. I have seen. So some of my lab mates, they actually have like social media accounts where they do like science education. So that was like a little bit of an inspiration for why I have little brain fact redeems. But because I'm a silly VTuber online and I have yet to fully get my master's, I like to have like a big disclaimer that's like, hey, remember I'm still a VTuber.
Yeah.
Remember I'm just like
do
a
not
silly
get your
VTuber
neural advice
online.
from anime women
like...
on the internet.
Yeah, it's like I could tell you what things I have learned in my experience as, like, you know, a trainee, but I'm still a trainee, and I think that's something important to keep in mind. But
Yes.
I think they have shared like videos of like the brains that, so I in my lab I work with postmortem human brain, so
Brain slices.
yeah, so they've shown like brain slices on their social medias before. So technically I could show it because I'm like it was okayed. Technically I could show chat little brain slices, but no, one, I don't know if they want to see it, and two, though my lab mates who did that weren't trying to, like, you know, I guess conceal their identities. Everybody knew who they were, you know, so it's not
Yeah.
crazy if they like show pictures of like of the lab and stuff.
That's true, yeah. Someone would like to know what's your favorite game genre and your favorite title in that genre.
Ooh. Oh, I actually really like roguelites. Roguelites. Hades is my favorite. The music is absolutely fantastic. That's my general genre that I like, but I do like, I don't know, with games, I pick up a lot of games and I enjoy them, but I think some bangers, I guess I do like RPGs quite a bit. But it really depends. Like, I like fantasy RPGs. I really like the Dragon Age series. 1, 2, 3. I haven't played the newest one, and I heard not great things about it. But Baldur's Gate is my favorite game of all time. So, yeah, it's my favorite game. For roguelikes, I like... I actually don't know the difference between roguelikes and roguelites. So please correct me. Okay, cool. But the vibe is kind of all the same. At least to me, I love Hades. I love Enter the Gungeon's really fun. I think Hollow Knight technically is a roguelite, right? Hold on, let me look that up.
Maybe.
Oh. Is that a... Yep. No? Yes? Oh.
They're saying you like Nekopara.
Okay. That's a lie. They just want me to play Nekopara, and Nekopara is kind of a lewd game, guys. I don't think you could play it on Twitch.
I know some people have played it on Twitch.
I think there is like a non-lewd option where you could like turn it off. Hollow Knight isn't. Okay.
I don't know. I've never
I do like
played
Hollow Knight,
it.
but that isn't. Yeah. But aside from those, I like simulation games. Those are silly and those are fun. So, The Sims is a classic. I wish there was a contender to The Sims because, I mean,
I don't know.
I think it could be done.
Have you ever heard of Shining Nikki? It's like The Sims, but with fashion.
Wait. I think maybe. I've never played it, but I've heard of it, I think.
They just had a new open world game, and it came out yesterday.
Okay, I might check it out. Oh, I'm always on the lookout for like a really good MMO to live out my life in. But I haven't really gotten sucked into any MMOs. And I know like Final Fantasy and like WoW are like two big ones, but like
Yeah.
I don't want to have to pay for a subscription before I fully commit to it.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know. I don't know. I'm waiting for some MMO to come out where I'm like, oh my god, this is it. You know, like when I was classic 13-year-old watching SAO, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to be in an MMO. Now I'm like SAO. Like if I rewatch it now, I'm like, oh gosh, you know, I was like, he's such a boring main character. But anyway, sorry, I've got thoughts. But the general desire for like an MMO that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is, yeah.
How tempting is it to sneak a taste of the brain slice?
Oh, not tempting. No. No.
Please, we don't want prions.
Not tempting. Yeah, so number 1, prions. Really bad. Really bad. Number 2, the brains that I work with, they're all fixed in some way, or they're frozen. So, like at minus 80 degrees. So it's like, there's not really any moment where I'm like, ooh, that looks good. Because it always smells like whatever is used to fix it. And that's always like really like, you know, really chemically strong. It's never like a scent that seems appetizing.
Yeah, I imagine it does not smell good.
And the texture itself feels like it would be like a very rubbery, you know? If that makes sense. You know, like if you overcook meat and it's just like really rubbery, I guess it would be something like that.
Like a bouncy ball.
Yeah, a little bit.
Formaldehyde?
We don't use formaldehyde for fixation for our experiments, but I have smelled formaldehyde and I'm not a fan. Although I was told last stream that there is something called formaldehyde hunger, which makes you hungry for some reason. I've never experienced that, I don't think.
I've never heard of formaldehyde hunger. I feel
right?
like it's something
Me neither.
zombies made up.
Yeah, honestly. But I think there's like I don't know if there's studies about it, but there's some articles about it. I didn't like fully read into it, but I was like, oh, interesting.
Noted. Okay.
Please don't eat brains.
Yeah, guys, don't eat brains. People, you can eat, you know, cow brains. I think those are safe for human consumption.
I think it depends. I think now they're less dangerous, but before, like what's colloquially known as mad cow disease, that was from eating cow brains. But I don't know if that's still a thing. Just basically, if you're gonna eat brains of any kind, do look it up. Any exotic, like any exotic quote unquote meats where like you don't really eat often.
Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up, please.
don't eat any meat that you find on the ground.
Yeah. Make sure it's safe.
Yeah. Like I live in the mountains. The amount of times I've seen people, there's roadkill, and people will stop their truck and like put it in their truck bed, and I know they're going home and making stew.
No, you know, it might not be safe.
They don't care. Don't eat brains.
The prions don't die when you cook them.
Yeah, it's not good. It's like those they're having an issue now with worms in salmon. And even if you cook the salmon, the worm doesn't die.
Ah, bleh, 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 bleh. Oh, that makes me very upset. I love salmon.
Oh yeah, Suzumamora, we have because people hunt here for like food. We have special wardens that you have to have the meat checked for things, but that doesn't mean people are gonna do it. They're not getting their roadkill checked. Oh, Nick, you just have to freeze the salmon first. It kills the worms, but cooking it doesn't.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Chronic wasting disease is pretty common for deer where I live. Yeah, but they have that issue. It made its way here, and now all the deer has to be checked. But that's just if the hunters are actually reporting their kills. Because there's like a legal limit or something. I don't know. I don't hunt. What are some of your future goals as a VTuber?
Oh, I from quite early on in streaming, I think one big thing I wanted to do. So I really like Shrek the Musical. I like musicals in general.
I love
But Shrek the Musical. Oh, it's so good. I love it. It's banger. And so I think one thing that would be really cool would be if I did like a reenactment of the entire musical on stream. Like it's a live play. I mean, a live musical. And I would pre-record like the backing for every song. And I would sing the songs live and like put costumes on my VTuber model. And do the, do like stage transitions between different scenes. And do all the acting, and then like treat it like an actual musical. So then I'll have like an intermission that I'm like, okay, everybody can go to the concession stand now.
I love
basically
this
like
idea.
a big show. That'd be really cool. I think aside from that, more silly collabs that are like, I think I've always really loved like Jeopardy and like game shows, trivia.
Yes,
so
those are so fun.
I've never said this on stream before, but I was kind of like, well, if I'm a brain also, it's kind of cute to do like a little trivia quiz show tailored for some of my fellow VTubers.
Yes, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, and I would have the categories based on their concepts.
Mhm.
So they better know a lot about their own concept,
They better
whatever
know
it
who they
is.
are.
Yeah. Stuff like that. I think like just like events, like special events, would be cool. I think let's see, what else is like a big long-term goal? I'm trying to think. I guess like having like a little Fumo plush, I think would be something I want to be able to do at some point. But I don't think it's feasible in like I don't know, anytime soon, but maybe in the future, a little cute Fumo plush. And I really like what what Mentos fan does, where like they just take photos of the Fumo plush everywhere, and it's so cute. And
Yeah.
I want that.
I love those.
Yeah. They're so cute.
Sorry, I'm not trying to like play with my toggles. I'm trying to figure out why someone redeemed a certain hairstyle and it's not working.
It's okay. It's okay. No worries.
There we go. Okay, we got it. Once the protein folds, it tends to create other proteins around it that make funny shapes. We love proteins that are funny shapes. Someone wants to know, what are prions?
Oh, they're a certain protein in your brain that basically they're like kind of known as unkillable. Typically with other proteins, if like let's say the environment's too acidic or too basic, or really high heat or really low temperatures, it'll cause denaturation, which is basically the protein just kind of like falling apart and like no longer being a problem. But prions don't experience that. So if let's say you're eating a brain and you're cooking the brain, because we cook meat like in order to like kill off a lot of like the bacteria and things that would harm us, but these prions will not die, and a lot of them basically will just keep, I think they're misfolded if I'm if I'm correct. They're misfolded and they'll just cause other proteins to misfold as well, and it'll just really mess with your entire system, because we on a base level we need all of our proteins to be working correctly, at least like a majority of them.
We need them to
And
be
if a
good
lot of them
shapes.
start and if they start like changing their shapes, that changes their function too. And then eventually it'll lead to like damage and deficits in terms of our functioning overall. And so that is why prions are really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please don't eat brains without making absolute sure. I mean, don't eat human brains because it's illegal, and also because prawns are they're probably, don't do that. You also get like hepatitis B maybe. There's
Ooh.
there's like a lot of other stuff you could get. Yeah, so just be careful.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Don't be a cannibal, chat.
They will not make you smarter.
They will not. You
They will not
cannot
make you smarter.
photosynthesis knowledge via the consumption of brain. Do you have a dream non-plush merch you would do if money wasn't a concern?
Ooh, that's a good. Oh, maybe like a snow globe. Pushes my brain.
That'd be funny.
And I think the jars would have like my little loopies, and
Mhm.
then if you shake it,
Brain.
it'll like fog up. Because I think one day someone asked me pretty early on. They're like, "Shoomimi, is your brain jar just like basically a refurbished snow globe?" And I said yes. So it'd be cute if it was a snow globe.
It would
But
be, that'd be really
aside-
cute.
Yeah, right. Aside from that, I think I don't know. I mean, I would like this fit in real life. You know, I don't have. That'd be cool. I want this actual fit. If anybody sees overalls that look like this specifically, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, thrift store snow globe, exactly.
We love thrift store snow globe. I just taking out. My sister used to have this giant snow globe collection, and it's been in a box in the garage for like a year, so I just took it out to organize. I was like, half of these don't have water in them anymore.
Oh, it's so cute though. Snow globe collections are so cute.
Yeah, we had a lot of them. I didn't even know we had that many. We're all just sitting in a box. What's one of your favorite VTubing memories?
Oh, that's such a cute question. I mean, this is a little bit unfair because it just happened, but I think seeing all of the work that the Shoominians put in to build the spawn in Minecraft, it was so cute. They built like a statue of me. They built a statue of the Shoominians into the mountainside. It was so sweet and so elaborate and so well thought out, and I loved that so much. I think aside from that, I made a bet on a marble stream that if I win, which was really unlikely, if I win, I basically it was like whoever wins will get time like banned permanently. Before we don't do that anymore because we don't want to mark people's accounts as like suspicious user.
Yeah.
But before that was like a really big concern. We had like this was requested by chat, but they were like, can we do like a permaban run where the winner is like banned forever? And I'm like, okay, if you want. We did one, and then I said I wasn't going to join, and then a Shoominian was like, coward, and I was like, what did you call me? A coward. So I joined, and I somehow won, and I ended stream. And the next day, I told some of my VTuber friends about it. And Honey, the kawaii bunny, next day on her stream, she threw me a funeral. But the issue is, she didn't tell me that she was throwing me a funeral. So I had to find out through like a Discord DM from Drum, one of Honey's mods, that this was happening. I joined. And I had to find out that I was dead, first of all, and second, being thrown a funeral by just stumbling across it. And that was very goofy. And I thought it was so silly. It was so funny.
It's really
just
funny.
coming into the chat and being like, is this for me?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's embarrassing, walking into your own funeral.
I was like, oh, I wasn't invited? Why?
I can't believe they didn't invite her to her own death.
It was so silly. And I think like the next day I did like a quote unquote graduation stream.
Mhm.
And I just did like a silly elaborate bits where I'm like, well, I'm gone forever. Time for a Shoominian TTS to take over. I didn't expect all of the chat to be upset about that. I was like, oh, I didn't expect them to be upset about the Shoominians taking over.
Yeah.
And they were like, get out of here, go away, we want Shoomimi back. And I'm like, oh, they want Shoomimi back? Like, really? And then one of the very sweet schemes that the Shoominians have done was that for the like the quote unquote graduation stream, they made me like a kudo board that was like that was like if I actually graduated, and then I cried because I told them that I didn't think they would be upset, and they were like, "What's wrong with you?"
Oh,
It was very elaborate,
they're
and I
saying
felt really bad.
you made them cry a lot.
I'm sorry, you made me cry too.
You're not usually invited to your own funeral. I mean, I guess. I've never
But
thought
I
about it that
wasn't
way.
dead. I was alive. But that was really silly. It was really fun.
They're saying they all cried.
Aww. 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 I'm sorry. They're so nice to me, and sometimes I'm like, why?
It's so interesting because, like, I remember starting off with like no viewers and having like 4 viewers and just being like, why are 4 people watching me? And then it was like all of a sudden 18 people watching me, and I'm like, why are there 18 people here? And I would just like yap, you know, about anything, and suddenly people were like listening to me yap, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, that's kind of still how I feel. I've always kept my viewer count off, and it's one of my rules because I have anxiety and I'm a very anxious person in general. I'm medicated, so that's good. But I don't want my mood to change and shift depending on how many people are there. I want to be able to like be fun and have like provide a good experience and have a good time with everyone who's there no matter what. So I've always had it off. But whenever you rate out, you see how many people you have. And every single stream, I'm surprised. I'm like, there's this many of you want to hang out with me? That's crazy. That's crazy. Why?
Yeah, I also keep the numbers off. I think it's one of the best pieces of advice is don't look at the numbers. They don't matter.
Yeah, I think so.
If you could redo your first 6 months or so of streaming, what would you do differently?
I'm trying to think about. So, I think I would have just reached out to people quicker. So I would have like reached out to Ellie a lot faster than I actually did because it took us forever to actually, I guess, like collab with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing. I feel like I'm quite shy, and I tried to like tell people this, but like I am a very socially anxious person. Streaming has helped me so much with it, but I think it's always been difficult. Yeah, it's always been difficult for me to reach out to people. I think now I'm a lot more comfortable, also because now I'm kind of like if I send a silly picture, then that's a good opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, and aside from that, I think I don't know if this was the first 6 months of streaming. I don't really remember the timeline, to be honest, of like when I streamed, when I took a hiatus, how long my hiatus was. It was like a long time, but I don't remember how many months it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if that was part of the decision making of me taking a hiatus, I think I was getting really stressed about I guess how well I was doing for streaming because my normal stuff in life, like my master stuff, was getting really difficult. So I put a lot of my, I guess, my self-worth and how happy I was feeling on how streams did. And sometimes if I had like a really long day at the lab and then I would stream, of course, like I'm not as upbeat. And so
Yeah.
I think that started really affecting me. And so I was like, I need to take a step back away from this because I love streaming so much, but this is not the part of it that I like. Like this is the part of it that comes along with it, and but the most important part is the community. And so I wanted originally just to take like a 2-month break, but it ended up being so long.
Yeah.
So yeah, but when I eventually came back, it was really sweet because a lot like a fair amount of people from back then still pop up sometimes. And I think I sometimes see like a lurker that I had in my streams when I had like 5 viewers, like pop up every once in a while, and I'm like, oh my god, you're still here. That's crazy, and it makes me so emotional. So yeah.
It's always really nice when people who were watching at the beginning pop back up. Like, wow, you're still here.
Yeah, like for little me. That's crazy.
Is your agoraphobia more mild or severe? How do you manage it?
Yeah, so I have generalized anxiety, and I also have like mild, I want to say like mild agoraphobia, because I can still like leave my house, but when it comes to certain things like going to my lab, because it's like an hour transit, and I've had a lot of weird experiences on public transit with like strangers being very 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 weird to me. So I guess because of those experiences and because of my overall anxiety, I just got really really nervous to actually leave my house to go to work. If it was anywhere like really close, luckily I think I live next to a lot of things, I can do that no problem. You know, I could take care of myself no problem. But it was really just like going to work that was so difficult, because all of the times I've had like really weird experiences with strangers, it was always on my way to work. And so I would be like waiting for a bus, and then like some random man would come up and then you know, be like really uncomfortably familiar with me, or like literally one time someone was like, "Can I have your book that you're reading?" And I'm like, "I don't know who you are."
That's so weird.
No.
Only in Canada.
Yeah, and so I had like, I guess because of those experiences, I was extra wary, and like the anxiety didn't help. And I think when it got really bad, the worst part was so I love my dog, he's very cute, but he's not super great with other dogs. So whenever we go for walks with him, I always want to be very like, I have my eyes peeled for other dogs, right? Because I don't want, you know, I don't want my dog to bother other dogs when they're just hanging out. um so that became like a point of big anxiety for me, and kind of contributed to the agoraphobia part, because I just would lie down on the floor when I had to walk my dog, because I'd be like, and I felt so bad because my dog would just be like, "Are you good?" But I would just lie there and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't get up, I can't go outside." I felt like there was like a weight on my chest whenever I wanted to do anything. But that was before I was medicated. So the medication that I'm taking alone will not solve all my problems, but they do help a lot. And then I think I also did a fair amount of like learning how to meditate and things like that. So, you know, it's a slow process, but I think it's getting okay. I think I'm hoping that like I think things are a bit better. It's just overall, I think it's really tough. And also agoraphobia, sorry, I should have defined this earlier, but agoraphobia is the fear of like basically leaving. It's, some people say it's the fear of open, sorry, my dog just ran into the room. A fear of open spaces, but it's more like a fear of leaving like the safety of familiar places, you know? So leaving my house, or leaving my like general apartment complex. It has like some stuff connected to it, and I'm okay with going there, but you know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get it. Anxiety stinks.
Yeah, but I'm doing a lot better now. So I think I've kind of like I found a dose of anxiety meds that work well for me. That side effects aren't too bad. I guess I sleep a lot. I'm really sleepy, but aside from that, I think everything is decent.
Sleepy but not anxious. You know, it's
exactly.
You gotta take some and lose some.
Exactly. I'd much rather be sleepy. Oh, it's so nice.
Better than the anxiety keeping you up at night.
Oh my god, that was a huge thing. That was a huge thing too. But yeah, things are hopefully getting better. I'm trying my best, but also like, you know, it's tough, especially if you don't have like health insurance, because I'm you know, on my break I'm no longer a student technically. So little things like that. Otherwise, I would try to get a therapist to help with these things, but I think things are okay. Yeah.
That's the important part. What are some of the most memorable older schemes that you and the Shoominians have pulled on each other?
Oh. um. Let me see. There were still some schemes back in the day, but I feel like it was more me scheming my chat versus my chat scheming me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of my favorite schemes, which is so stupid, and I'm still gonna do it even though I've talked about it on stream a bunch, is that this is something I like to do for some reason. My birthday is April 2nd, but I like to tell everyone that it's April 1st. So then on April Fools, they'll say, "Happy birthday!" And then I'll sing, "April Fools." It's April 2nd. April Fools is tomorrow. Um, and so I've said this on stream a couple times. But I think the very first day when I met a lot of my community. No, it's April 1st, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. And Ellie rated into me. She was like, "Happy birthday," and I was like, "Oh, hey, April Fools! It's not actually my birthday." Shh, it's okay. Shoominians who are here, don't tell other Shoominians. Everybody is in on the joke. Wink, wink. My birthday's April Fools. Because I was born a fool. But that was something I'm gonna do every year, no matter what. Even if a majority of people already know it's not my birthday, they'll be in on the joke.
Yeah, you just gotta keep it going.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see what else. There was a really cute moment. I really liked Baldur's Gate 3, like a ton. I loved it, and for my very first playthrough, I romanced one of the characters, Asterion, who's like a vampire guy.
Yeah.
And and I was like, "Oh, he's so I was like, as attached as you could be to like a video game character without it being like super super weird.
Yeah.
Not like I have changed. I still think that he's a great character, and I if given the chance, I would romance him again. However, anyway, but my mod at the time and a couple of my other VTuber friends, Ellie included, pitched in to get like a cameo from the voice actor Neil Newbin to basically say like, "Oh," and like use my IRL nickname B, which I've said on stream before, which isn't like doxing, but it was basically him being like, "You're doing a good job, B," and I'm like, "This is crazy. Is this the Neil Newbin saying this to me?" And so that was kind of a crazy thing that happened. I have it saved, and I was like, "That's so sweet," I was like, "Oh, that's so nice." Yeah,
That's so
and it was a
nice of
surprise.
them.
And I love surprises. They're so fun.
They are. Did you do the dishes though? Someone's question.
Why are you asking that question? Why are you asking that question? I didn't do the dishes today. No. But it's because I did all the dishes are basically still clean. Like 99% of them.
No reason to wash them yet.
Exactly.
Can you tell us more about your dog?
Yeah. So my dog, I call him Shoomimi because when I first started streaming, I don't know why, but I was like, what if someone finds me through my dog? But his real name is Mikey, and he is a half Maltese, half Shih Tzu. I can send you a photo if you'd like. But,
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, give me a second. He is a little menace. And hold on, let me try to find a good picture. His hair is growing out a lot right now, so he's a bit fluffy. Here's a picture of my dog.
Aww.
We have a redeem on stream where I got like a little model that was you could edit it to look like a dog, and I try to edit it to my dog's colors, and so they can like redeem it as in like a little takeover. That's my dog. That's my dog.
I love that you got him his own advent calendar.
Oh my gosh, my sister's okay, my sister's boyfriend's parents love him, and they kind of treat him like a grandchild.
That's so
so
funny.
so they bought him that advent calendar. And so he's like 9. He's 9 years old. And so he's like not exactly a senior citizen, but he's getting up there in years.
Yeah.
But he's a little dog, so he's got a ways to go. But I love him. He is demanding. He's very clingy. But also he's really like, how do I describe this? He's like like a tsundere is a good way to put it, where like
Aw.
he'll want to cuddle, but if you're like, come here to cuddle, he'll be like,
No.
he'd sigh. He'd be like,
Yeah.
ugh,
It's like, how dare you?
fine, I'll cuddle you. But then if you like move a little bit, he'll like move his butt, so then it'll still be touching you, even if you like scooch a little bit over.
Aw.
Yeah,
so cute.
I think the vibes are very much he doesn't want to be caught like being clingy.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah, but he's a very clingy dog, and I love him. He's so cute.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll show you, in exchange, I'll show you a picture of my dog.
Yeah.
That make it smaller. This is Stella. I did not name her. She came with the name. And we got her about 3 weeks ago.
That's so recent. Oh,
So
she's so cute.
She was a foster fail. She came on the first day, and by the end of the first day, we were like, she's staying. That's it. We love her.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, she's so sweet. I love her big ears.
Yeah, we love her big ears. So she is an Australian Silky Terrier, we think.
Oh, so cute. So cute. I love dogs. Oh,
I
they're
do
so
too.
cute.
This was her trying to help. I was trying to fix this quilt, and she was like, "No, let me." She did this adorable thing where she was like swimming across it. So she put her tummy down, and then she like crawled across the blanket, and then she was rolling all over it. I think as it came from a horse barn, maybe.
That's so cute.
It was so cute.
Oh, I love seeing people's pets.
I did too. I love dogs. Every time someone tells me about their dog, I tell them, "Please tell your dog I love them."
Exactly. Please tell Stella we love her.
I will tell her. She was being a stinker tonight, though. That's why I had to call the vet before stream.
Yeah, it's like I love my dog, but I'm like, you're a little menace. But I can say that because I take care of you.
Yes.
And, even when you're being a little menace, he likes to steal my socks and he tries to eat them, which
Oh,
is
that's so
bad
funny.
because, he's like a small to medium-sized dog.
Yeah, like a clog his intestine.
Yeah, I'm like, don't do that. It's like he'll steal the sock and I'm like, that's kind of cute. He's just holding it. Like, that's adorable. And then he starts balling it up and trying to swallow it. And I'm like, oh my God, stop.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Stella is surprisingly smart. Like, I was trying to get a picture of her gums for the vet because I don't have a car right now and there was no way to get to the vet. So they're like, okay, send us a picture of her gums to see if she's oxygenated. And she put both her paws on my arm to like push my arm away. It was like,
Stop it.
I've never seen a dog do that. Because my
He's
dog
so
before this was also a
cute.
terrier. She was just a Yorkshire Terrier mix. And she did not have the pizzazz that Stella has. She was a much lazier dog.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it when dogs are like, they got their silly little personalities.
They really do, yeah.
So cute.
Shoomimi, are you gonna stream on April 1st and April 2nd?
Ideally, yes. Or maybe just April 1st. I think also part of the reason why I did that was because April 2nd, I had plans like with family and friends. But I would like to do a little bit of actual birthday stream with my chat, at least like in part. If not super long, then maybe just like an hour or two. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
really cute. I would love that.
Shoomimi, did you remember David's birthday?
Oh my god. So David, Lord David, oh sorry, I didn't mean to make myself bigger.
It's okay.
Is one of my very lovely mods, and he was doing this thing where he was like, oh, I'm just not gonna tell Shoomimi when my birthday is, and then when it passes, I'm gonna be like, how dare Shoomimi forget my birthday? Well, I don't know when David's birthday is because he's never told me his birthday.
Aw.
Okay? So I don't know. I don't know David's birthday.
That's funny.
I said happy birthday a couple times, so.
Just every time you
She
see him,
missed
happy
it.
birthday. One day you'll get
That's
it
what
right.
I tried. That's what I tried to do, but apparently I missed it. And the one day it was actually his birthday. He tried his best not to mention birthday at all.
Aw.
And it slipped my mind, I guess. Damn.
That's so funny.
Next year,
You'll get it one day.
I'll mark the calendar.
Are there any ongoing chat bits that you dislike?
Not like dislike to the point where I'm like, ooh. Because I think if I did dislike something, I would like, bring it up to chat. And then I think we would, they're very understanding and very sweet. So I think they would be like, yeah, no worries. We'll stop doing that. There are some bits that are funny, but I'm a little bit like embarrassed by them. So, like my sister knows I stream, and sometimes she'll come in and like hang out, but like my sister's 5 years older than me, and I don't want her to think I'm a freak. And there is this one thing I have on stream where it's like a little, how do I describe this? It is an emote of my friend. Okay, before I say this, how PG is your stream?
I mean, I don't curse, but otherwise it's fine.
Okay, but basically it's just like okay, so the context for it is that like my friend Honey, she had a emo toggle where she was syrup, and she had like a very like for fun she was being very like very very cool and very direct. And I was like, oh my gosh, everyone else was also like, oh my gosh, like blushing and stuff. But then people started zeroing on me blushing, and it was just an audio clip. So if you see someone saying promise, it's okay, so I'm just gonna say it. If you don't want to hear this, close your ears now. but basically she said, I'll step on you, as like a joke. And I, as a joke, said promise, and then people thought it was so funny, and they clipped it, and then they were like, can you please make it like the sound for this emote when we send it? And someone made an emote of it, and now it's just part of my stream now.
Oh no. They're all commenting promise.
I know. I think it's funny. I don't dislike it. I just think with my sisters there, I'm like, okay, nobody say that when my sister's here. I don't want her to think I'm a freak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fun. Okay, it's fun as a joke, but it will not get past this point, okay? This is a silly joke, okay?
My sister needs to think I'm normal.
Yeah, exactly. And so when she's around, I'm like, guys, none of that weird stuff. Everything else is fine. Spam a lot of Shoomimi pics because she comes in just to spam Shoomimi emotes, because for 7TV we uploaded a bunch, and then she leaves, and I'm like, okay.
We can be normal, really innocent. Sure. It's okay. Sometimes my brother comes into chat and he calls me a chicken and then leaves.
My sister came in one day and she called me, I think I was talking about my nickname that I have with my family, which in Mandarin it's Pilong, which basically translates to like fart dragon, or at least that's what I've been told when I was a kid. Because I was born near the dragon, and everybody in my family, their nickname is like fart something. So my mom's like fart mom, dad's fart dad, my sister is like fart pig, because that's when she was born, the year of the pig.
Yeah.
But so that's what they're typing when you see that. Like, it's so, honestly, I commend the Shu minions for their commitment to the bit, because a lot of people have just saved the Mandarin the Chinese characters for P long just so they could type it. Even if they don't speak Chinese or like read it. I can't even really speak Mandarin, or really speak that much Chinese at all, but but my sister came in one day and she typed it in Chinese. That's why people have it now. So she likes to mess with me sometimes. And then she was like, hee hee hee, that was funny. But tell me. Also, sometimes I've been told that the Shoominions scheme with her in the channel I can't see, and she gave me like a full like a rolled up handwritten letter one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting very elaborate.
This is getting serious.
It's very fun though.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Where did the name Shoomimi come from?
Oh, it was originally Shoomish. I think that's still my username on like some games and stuff. But the reason for it, I don't know. I just wanted a cute username that was more unique, and then but not like super unique, because I like the Pokemon Shroomish. It's not my favorite Pokemon, but I just thought he was kind of a silly guy, and it was fun to say his name. But I was like, oh, but I'll take out the R, just to be a little bit original. So it's Shoomish, and I picked Shoomimi because I was trying to float around some ideas for a name, and because I wanted to be a streamer, I wanted to make sure that my name like didn't exist already, and I could, I could try to, that I would be able to be the Shoomimi, and I think it's just fun to say Mimi, so like Shoomimi, and I think like and at the beginning of streams I like to be like honk honk Shoomimi here, but the reason why is because of like the honk Shoomimi thing. It's like it's so silly. Also, yeah, I'm always EP, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Honk Shoomimi, and so I guess it's not really it's not like a super cool like origin to my name, but that's kind of how I settled on it. I kind of just was like, I just said Shoomimi, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's pretty good. And then and then the catchphrase came after.
Two EP streamers on right now. I'm not EP. Not yet.
I did oversleep for I was late to my stream like half an hour, I think, last week, because I stayed up too late, and then I didn't set an alarm for when I went to go take a nap. And then so everybody was in my offline chat. They're like, Shoomimi, where are you? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Not the nap relay.
No, I'm sorry. My sleep schedule's really messed up, so that doesn't help.
Mine is weird. Like, I go to bed at midnight, and then I usually wake up around like 8-ish.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but lately I've been waking up like 7. Today I think I woke up at like 7:24, and I was like, this is not correct.
Early riser.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I also checked gamer subs at 7 p.m. Because I was like, ooh, why not? I'll just finish this. And then I was a fool because I couldn't sleep.
Oh no. Then stream a little early to wake up tomorrow. Proceeds to read manhwa for the next 2 hours. No, I fell asleep reading manhwa last night. After 10 minutes, I'll have you know.
Yeah, like when I say I go to bed, I'm doing something before bed to make me sleepy. Like watching YouTube. I've been watching like outdoor survival people. Just like surviving and camping. And that's so relaxing to me. It makes my bed feel so much cozier because they're like, all right, time to sleep on this plank of wood. And I'm like, oh, I have blankets.
I thought... I want to make sure I didn't miss a question. I thought I saw one. I guess not. Your thoughts on Martha Stewart? Oh no, he's going to start the Martha controversy.
I don't know that much about Martha Stewart. I know that she cooked with Snoop Dogg one time.
Yes. There's a whole Martha Stewart documentary, and let me tell you, Martha was done dirty.
Oh. I know nothing about her really.
It's a really good documentary.
Maybe I'll watch it one day.
You should.
More like she baked with Snoop Dogg.
It was really funny actually hearing about how they met. So they met on this television show. It was like everyone is supposed to roast each other on it, And the whole point of it was that Justin Bieber was like in big legal trouble and was gonna go to jail. And they were like, you know what other celebrity has actually been to jail? Martha Stewart. So they brought Martha Stewart over. And they're, oh my gosh, it was, the reason she went to jail was so dumb. They basically just wanted to like put Martha Stewart in jail. Like that was it.
What?
Yeah, because she was a success. She was one of the first female billionaires ever. And because of that, they were like, we have to put this woman in jail. So they wanted to charge her with insider trading, but they couldn't prove that she had actually done any insider trading. So instead, they put her in jail on the basis of lying to the police.
What?
Even though she'd never lied. She said she answered truthfully. Her lawyer told her to say if she doesn't remember something, to say she doesn't remember. So because she said she doesn't remember, they were like, oh, you're lying to us, aren't you? And then there was an entire trial for it, and she went to jail for 5 months.
What the heck?
Isn't that the biggest sham of a trial you've ever heard of?
Poor Martha. Oh my
know.
gosh, they can't see a girl boss winning.
Truly, free my girl Martha. She didn't do anything wrong. But anyway, so she went on this show as she roasted Justin Bieber, and she was sitting next to Snoop Dogg, and she accidentally, Snoop Dogg was like smoking the entire time, so she accidentally got like a secondhand high. And that's how she and Snoop Dogg met, and then they were like talking backstage, and they were like, you know what? I really like your vibes, and they started a television show.
That's so cute.
It's actually really cute.
That's so cute. God. I love all the random side quests that Snoop Dogg has been on. He's like been on everything. He's in Fortnite now.
He is?
Yeah.
Did you see him hosting the
is.
Summer Olympics this year?
What? No,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
had
know
an
that.
outfit for every sport. It was great.
That's so cute. I
It's
should
so
watch
cute.
some clips.
No confession from her. They were able to prove it otherwise to a jury. So basically, everyone they brought up on the stand as like a quote-unquote witness, all they did was like defame her. So one of the people they brought to the stand was the secretary of her stockbroker, and all he did was complain about how mean Martha Stewart was to him. And that was
What?
basically how the trial went for like 3 months, was they kept bringing these witnesses on that would just like say really mean things, that Martha's a terrible person, no one should like her, why do people buy her magazine? It was stuff like that. And this poor woman, her stock, because she had a stock that was like being publicly traded, and because of all these things people were saying about her, which I don't know if they were true or not, her stock went down to like $5 a share.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy, the whole thing. Really good documentary. If the government has no haters, they've taken me out. Anyway, let me see. I have a little list of questions. That's why I look down sometimes. If you could give one piece of advice to new VTubers, what would it be?
Ooh, I mean, I think this is a pretty common one, but I would say, first of all, if this is your first time streaming, I would say try to make sure that you like streaming first before you like commit any kind of monetary, if you like commissioning things. I think that's really important because streaming isn't for everyone. You can still like make content without streaming, right? So if content creation is your thing but it isn't streaming specifically, you could still do that. But streaming, it's like, I love to yap a lot. I think most streamers I know love to yap, even if there's not much to yap about. We just love yapping.
It's true.
I think, yeah. And my friend who tried streaming as well, he wasn't really a yapper, and I think he didn't really, because of that, he didn't really want to continue. And so I think that that's one thing. Second thing is that there's a lot of free resources on the internet, like a ton.
Yes.
A ton, yeah. So then if you don't know how to start, if you don't know where to start, there are a lot of very lovely websites. If you even just Google like VTuber assets, like free VTuber assets, etc., you will definitely find them. You can also, if you, let's say you're like, I want a live 2D model, I don't want to commission I don't want to commission a custom one. You can always get one that's like already like basically there's a lot of like kind of like you can customize live 2D models that already exist to kind of make it match your vibes more, and then you can work with that while you're figuring out if you like streaming, kind of
Exactly.
improving your streams. And later on, if you're like, I really like this concept, I want to narrow it down, then you can like commission a custom model.
Yes.
So it's, yeah,
Don't be like
I
me.
know I know a lot of VTubers who have been very successful, who have like a model that you can like you could find and like purchase for like a very reasonable price, right? You don't
Yeah.
need a custom model immediately, especially if you're just starting out. But that's like, per everybody's preferences. If you want something custom, I think PNGs are a good way to start. Maybe even like a gift tuber, those are things as well.
Yes.
Yeah, or like a 3D Vroid model. There's like a lot of different things. And although people kind of make it seem like you have to commission everything, you can it's hard, don't get me wrong, but you can learn to do a lot of things.
Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
need to commission anything. Like all of my backgrounds I bought them from Booth.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can find online. Let's say you're like, oh, if you got emotes and you're, like say you made affiliate and you got emotes, you're like, ooh, okay, cool, but I don't know what emotes to get, I don't know what to commission. You can just put literally any photo in there.
True.
And you can like, I think even if you draw something in MS Paint, like it doesn't have to be fantastic, because a lot of people who are there watching you and want to support you are there for you, not just for like things like emotes,
Yeah.
And yeah. Let's see what else. I would say also try to make genuine connections with other streamers and other VTubers, and like not in a way that's like for content, but more for like it's always, I feel like everybody needs to have friends in the space.
Yeah.
To have people to talk to support you. I have some VTuber friends that I barely collab with, but like I talk to them about like everything. If ever I feel like I'm struggling with, let's say, like the more numbers aspect of streaming and worrying about whether or not I'm doing well, I think talking to other VTubers in the space who, you can trust and you can talk to about these things, it will make you feel a lot better, because a lot of people go through the same feelings,
Yes.
go through the same things, and they can also offer you advice. You can commiserate together, you can be there for each other, and I think it's really important to like, I guess, like have people to get feedback from.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll think about doing something for stream and I'll be really excited about it and I want to show someone, so I will show one of my VTuber friends and say like, thoughts?
Yes.
Do you like this? Is this good?
Is this
And
cool?
yeah, and sometimes they'll like help with like, if I can't choose between A and B, I'm like, help me. Which one do you think would be like more appealing to chat or to stream, etc. And I think that has always made me more confident in the things I've done.
Yeah. I feel the same exact way. I will say people also notice when you approach them with the intention of just like using them for their viewers.
Yeah, I don't think that's first of all, that's just kind of a crummy thing to do. And then second of all, even if that is your goal, like it's not a good way to do it. Like
Yeah.
people can always kind of tell when you're just kind of, there because of I guess like wanting to get more views and things like that,
Yeah.
And I think yeah, but I also think that, I don't know, the lines are a bit tough sometimes because, I mean, as long as you're not like actively like, oh, if you're not being a freak, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I just don't want to worry people. I think most people don't do that unless like if that isn't your intention.
Most people have very good intentions.
Exactly. Like it's really hard to unintentionally cloud chase.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not possible. Yeah, so don't. Yeah. Be kind, I think, is the biggest thing.
Exactly. Subway pub sub or Firehouse?
What's a Subway pub sub? What's Firehouse?
I think they mean like if your preferred sandwich Like Subway
Oh,
sandwich, Firehouse. I don't
I
think.
don't.
Have you ever been to a
I
Publix?
No, I don't. I only know Subway, but I could tell you what my favorite Subway sandwich is.
Mhm.
When I was a kid, I think one day I this is my go-to sandwich now because I used to get like I used to like try a bunch of different stuff at Subway, and then I got a meatball sub, a meatball marinara, and then I remember like I was like I don't know, I was like 10 or something, and when I like put all the toppings on and everything, the there was like a cop in front of me, like a local cop, and then he was like, "Now that's a sandwich," and I'm like, I'm never gonna eat anything but this again." And that's still what I get. It's I get meatball marinara on which I don't know, whichever bread, Italian, I guess, just like normal, the most white bread of it. I don't get Subway very often, so when I do, I'm like, this is not healthy. I'm just gonna eat whatever I want to eat. I get meatball marinara. I get cheese. I get, let's see, I'm listing all the toppings: pickles, onions, tomatoes, spinach, and then I get garlic aioli and barbecue sauce.
That's a lot of toppings.
It was a lot of topping. I love toppings. That's why I don't get Subway very often, because whenever I do, I'm like, I'm going all out.
It's like ice cream. You gotta get all the toppings on the ice cream.
I work at a Subway. This is well, if I'm going to Subway, I mean, I'm polite. I'm not like, give me all these. I'm like, yeah, could I please get spinach? Could I please get this?
As long as you're polite.
Exactly.
What's the hardest part of streaming that the general audience / chat doesn't know?
Oh, I think when you're having like an off day, like a bad day, or like a day where you're more like sensitive, or like recently I've been feeling kind of sick. I think sometimes I'll try to take a nap to get over it, but then when I wake up, I'm like, I really bleh. Like I feel so awful. I don't want to stream. But then when I start streaming, I feel better most of the times. Especially if it's like a mental thing.
Mhm.
But I think that's part of it. I think the other parts that are difficult about streaming is like learning how to set boundaries and learning about your chat and like I guess like the way they communicate. Because I think it's hard, especially at the beginning when you're streaming, to set boundaries for things that you're okay with and not okay with on your streams and within your chats. That's pretty difficult. But I think over time you learn how to do that, and also like in a, because not every like conversation about boundaries has to be like really big and elaborate. It could just be like, hey, let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like learning that skill was very important. Yeah, and I think I also it makes me feel a lot more comfortable with my chat. If things make me maybe not uncomfortable per se, like not like everything is like uncomfortable, but maybe I'm just like, this topic, I would like to move on, then I feel comfortable saying it. I like to be. It's just nice being able to communicate what you need as well from chat, as much
Exactly,
as chat.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And setting boundaries is super important.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna end up very unhappy if you have a boundary and you let people cross it over and over again.
And also a lot of times, like when people cross these boundaries that they don't know about, they're not meaning any kind of harm, and they're not intentionally, hurting you. But it's still like, it could still get across. So that's why it's always important to draw that line,
Yes.
and it's hard with chat. But I think like a lot of chatters, when they're there, they just want like, they don't want to be upsetting you. So
Yeah.
they don't want to be upsetting the streamer. No. So I think it's really important to be like, hey, for me personally, that is not something that I like. Or currently in this moment, I would like to not do that. But yeah. Hope that made sense.
Yeah. No, it made a lot of sense. I just lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
What's your go-to D&D class / subclass, if any?
Ooh. I feel, I have 3 main ones that I really like. Depending on how I'm feeling, I kind of rotate between the 3. But Druid, I think, was the very first class that I really played, and I loved it. I love being able to shapeshift. I love all the subclasses. And for subclasses, I think, like, I don't know, I like to pick, like, the subclasses that are not super, that are, like, some of them are in other extended books, or, like, depending on your DM, maybe some that are, like, in Unearthed Arcana, and those are fun. I think the Spore Druid is super cool. But aside from that, I think I like Paladin, and I think I like. Oh wait, no, I'm lying. There's so many. I like. Okay, Bard, Sorcerer, and Druid. I typically like Bard and Sorcerer because they're like charisma-based classes, and I like to do a lot of D&D things, mostly through speaking and trying to, like, you know, charm some characters and like try to get through to them with words. But I think that's always fun. And I'm an ex-theater kid, so I always like to be a little bit extra with some things. And by that I just mean that, like, in times I've played Bard, I've brought some instruments, so then when I do a little thing, if I'm casting like Vicious Mockery, I'll do like a little strum on my ukulele and be like, "You're stinky," just to add to the vibe, you know.
Big vibes. Do Canadians have sandwiches?
Like in general?
I don't know.
Yeah, we have sandwiches. Like a Canadian specific sandwich? I feel like all the sandwiches are kind of the same.
Maybe? I don't know. Have you ever had a beaver tail? Like,
oh, I actually, despite being Canadian and like living in a place where there's a fair amount of beaver tail shops, I've never had beaver tail.
I remember I went on a cruise to Alaska, and our last stop was like British Columbia, and there was a stand there selling beaver tails, and now anytime I think about Canada, I think of beaver tails.
Oh, they're so good. I don't even know how to describe them. I only know they're so good because everyone's like, "Oh, it's so good."
Yeah, it's like a donut, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you please explain what the deal is with milk in a bag?
So, I lived on like the west coast of Canada for a long time, and they didn't have like bagged milk over there. So when I moved to the East Coast, I was like, oh, all the things that people are saying about Canadian bagged milk is true. It's basically just like a plastic bag filled with milk. That's like 2 liters of milk or something. You put that in your fridge when you want to drink it. There's like a specific little milk jug for bagged milk. You put it in the jug, you snip a corner of the milk bag, and then you drink it. And that's kind of what it is. That's just kind of the main thing. I don't know why they're bagged. I had to learn about this from friends I've made on the East Coast. I also had to be like, so what's the deal with bagged milk? Because I have no idea. I don't know. They're just kind of like, it's just, that's the way sometimes. I mean, there's also non-bagged milk. There's carton milk. There is normal cartoned milk, but there also is bagged milk.
I was gonna ask if you have the option to not buy it in a bag.
Yeah. There's cartons. But I personally, I don't drink cow's milk. I drink like oat milk. So I don't drink dairy milk anyway. And oat milk doesn't come in bags.
Yeah, it only comes in a carton.
Yeah.
Is it lactose intolerance or just you don't like the taste?
Kind of both. I've never been a huge fan of cow's milk. And then I was in denial for a long time, but I am lactose intolerant. So I shouldn't drink milk. I mean, I still like have dairy, but I don't want to have, if I'm committing to that tummy ache when I eat something with dairy in it.
It's gotta be worth it.
I don't want to have tummy aches every day.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have cereal without having a tummy ache. I just want to put my milk in there and it's fine.
Yeah. I find oat milk to be like the best tasting milk alternative.
I agree.
Because I've had almond milk and I've had coconut milk, and coconut milk is just like coconut water.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of coconuts in general.
Yeah.
I understand the appeal, but not a huge fan.
I like coconut cookies.
Ooh.
But I think those are hard to dislike. It's like thin and crispy with like crispy coconut in it. It's so good.
Ooh, I think I know what you're talking about. That sounds good.
They're really good. Do Canadians need sustenance to survive, or do they live off of bad cold vibes?
I mean, I think it depends. Most people who live in Canada live like in the southern part of Canada that's like on the border to the US. And I don't think it ever gets cold enough here where we have to like, I guess like, you know, survive. But if you live like near like the Arctic Circle, if you live more in the north, I think there are some places, maybe Nunavut specifically, that a lot of the food is really expensive because it's really hard for food to get there. So I think like if you compare grocery prices, it's insane. It's like $100 for like a bag of grapes or something like that.
Yeah, and the roads close like part of the winter, right?
Yeah. So it's I think but also I assume that like more in the north, I think like there's other ways of, I guess, getting enough food versus like I also live in a city, right? So like that's another big thing. I live in a big city populated with a lot of people. It's like it's kind of just you go to grocery stores. But if you live in like a more rural place and you can't farm in the winter, then I assume maybe you go fishing, maybe you go hunting. I don't really know, but yeah.
I used to follow a creator on TikTok who was in Nuktuk, I think it was called. And they live in like the very northern part of Canada, and they eat beluga whale.
Yeah. I think it depends as well, because like if you're Inuit or if you're indigenous, I think like there are standard practices for hunting, and I think that's a lot more susceptible to like being like, it's not really a big issue, you know, when winter comes. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
I assume, but yeah, I don't know too much about. I've never lived in like the northern part of Canada, so I don't know too much. But that's what I am guessing.
I know in places like remote Alaska, they do all their fishing in like the fall during the big salmon run, and then they'll usually have like salmon to eat all throughout the winter, and then they'll also hunt like elk and deer and other small game. When was the last time you changed the jar juice?
That's a good question. You know, you know, however much time is appropriate and wouldn't make you go ew.
Do you ever put the brain in the dishwasher and just run the cycle?
No, that would be helpful, but I actually need, so the brain water in the jar water, it's cerebrospinal fluid, because that's what brains need to, like, you know, clear waste and stuff. So if I was taken out of this, I would perish. I would perish. I would wither away.
Do you ever put like a sugar packet in there?
Sometimes I think like at one point I was considering like trying to get something so then if you click a redeem, you can like feed fish flakes to my brain. I've never figured out how to do that, but
you could probably use Sammy for it.
Oh, true. Maybe.
Do you hand wash your dishes, or do you have a dishwasher?
I hand wash my dishes, okay? On my stream, there's like there was just one day my roommate, who like barely chats, came in and said, "Can you guys tell Shoomimi to do her dishes?" Even though the dishes were not, okay, they weren't like that bad at the time, okay? But she was just trying to be a menace. And then now every day when stream starts, there's like a little prediction as to whether or not I did my dishes for that day.
That's so funny.
Look, I hand wash them, okay? And my roommate is a cook, and she likes to use a lot of pans and dishes. And I do majority of the dishes because, you know, an equal trade, she helps me walk my dog sometimes. So
it's a fair trade.
Exactly. But then every single time they're like, "Ew, Shimi, ew, you didn't do your dishes, ew," and I'm like, "There's been like no dishes, Okay? Relax.
I make my siblings wash the dishes when I make dinner. I'm always like, I
Yeah.
cooked, you clean.
That's kind of part of the deal too, because roomie would like, even if I'm like, you don't have to cook for me, my roommate would still like, okay, but I still made extra so you can have it, and I'm like, you're why so nice to me. I'll do all the dishes.
So we established she doesn't wash the dishes.
What?
They're still blaming you for not washing dishes.
I do wash the dishes, okay? I just don't wash the dishes every single day. Sometimes I'm more sleepy than other days, and I'm busy, okay? But I do dishes.
Chat, let's be honest. You don't do your dishes every day. Sometimes you just leave them in the sink to soak overnight.
And sometimes you have to,
Yeah. Sometimes there's
depending on what you cook.
something burnt to the bottom of it by accident and you gotta soak it.
Exactly. And sometimes if you're making something that's cheesy, even if it's lactose-free cheese, that sucker gets stuck on the pot and you have to let it soak in hot water and then soap.
Exactly. How stinky are you? What
On a scale of
question.
1 to 10, 0. I'm not stinky.
Do them every day, but that's because I share a house with a bunch of other guys. Oh my gosh, that reminds me when one of my friends told me one of his roommates tried to wash the dishes with bleach. Because they never learned how to wash dishes before leaving their house.
Oh my god, bleach?
Yeah. I was like,
Oh my
does he want to kill you?
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm glad they're alive. They're alive, right?
Yeah, they're all still alive, I think.
Okay, that's good.
She's in a jar that's never been cleaned. It's like a closed biome. You know,
Come
like,
on. Yeah.
you know, like
It
when you go to a
self-cleans.
lake and you stick a jar in the lake and then you close the lid and it grows its own life. It's basically the same concept.
I have a system, okay? I need to clear the waste from the cerebrospinal fluid as well. So the fluid gets out and then new fluid comes back in. You just don't see the back of me, so you don't know what it looks like.
Do you have one
Okay,
of those,
you don't.
you know the magnet you stick in the fish tank and like one side is on the inside and one side's on the outside and
Yeah.
you swipe it up and down. Do you ever use that to clean your jar?
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe I should invest in that.
They make them really small too.
Those are fun.
They are. I love them. We had a fish tank when I was little, and my dad just got really annoyed with it eventually, so he gave it away. We had one of those magnet things, and I would spend a lot of time just swiping it up and down and scaring the fish.
Aww. Oh no, poor fish.
It's better than what my sister used to do. My sister used to she would stick her hand in the tank because she wanted to pet the fish.
Aww.
They did like being
cute.
pet, surprisingly. You just had to catch them first.
Aww.
You should stick one of those cleaning shrimp in there.
No, it would nibble at my brain, and then I won't. You know, it's got to be a sterile environment. You
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah, if you can get me a very sterile shrimp without it dying, and you could promise that it won't produce any kind of toxins, I'll put it in my brain jar. But that is impossible.
Imagine if you
Therefore,
had
no.
a toggle and like a goldfish sometimes came out from behind and swam for the
That'd
brain.
be really cute. They're really cute.
Can we?
I do love those little suckers, the bottom feeders. The little
Yes.
fish. Mm-hmm.
I love those. They're so funny. They will survive anything too.
Mm-hmm.
Like we thought we gave away all the fish. We didn't realize we still had one of those in the tank. And my dad just let the tank like start to grow mold, moss stuff. And that fish lived for another 2 years in that tank.
Oh, damn.
It was crazy. Just sterilize the shrimp first.
But how can you promise that the shrimp wouldn't produce any kind of toxins or waste?
We gotta bioengineer the shrimp. It's the only way.
A lot of shoe minions are very, very intelligent. I think all shoe minions are very smart. Whenever I always am like, wow, my chat's like so smart. and I'm always like, ooh. If I have a silly moment, I'm like,
Oh, there's smart people in here. I always forget, like, some people do not exist in their own little sphere like I do. And then one of my chatters is an endocrinologist. There's like 2 computer engineers in here and a software engineer and like a truck driver. And I'm like, wow, there is a lot of variety.
Yeah, it's cool. Not all of us. What are you talking about? I think I think everyone's very smart.
I think so too. I'm not, but everyone else are. We learn a lot from your streams.
Don't quote me though, but I do talk about brains fairly often. Yeah. And sometimes I do like brain fact dedicated streams. So,
what's your favorite
cool
brain fact?
Oh, one thing I really love is that I think one of my go-tos is so the brain is super especially okay, when the brain is very young. So in the critical period, like when it's still developing, it's not fully grown yet, and like it's in like the fastest point of development. It is really malleable, and it's able to form a lot of new connections very quickly. And so if, let's say, really early on in your life, you somehow like lose your vision, so you're not able to see anymore, you can, and this has happened before, you can learn how to echolocate, and the part of your brain that corresponds to visual signals, like from your eyes, will now correspond to specific clicks that you make with your, like, you know, clicks and like the sound that comes back, bouncing back from things to your ears. That is what will create the visual world for you instead. Yeah, and so like I think there was a paper somewhere that my chat did tell me that there was a paper somewhere that says that you can do this as an adult as well, but I think like there was a specific case of this. I think I forget his name, but this specific man, when he was 3, I think he went blind and he couldn't see anymore, but he learned how to echolocate, and since he learned at such an early age, he could basically like click with his mouth, and then he would be able to be like, there's a tree like this close to me or something like that. And it's really cool when they measured his brain waves and like tried to see where the activity was happening. The clicks were coming back and they were registering in the visual cortex while every other sound was in the auditory. So yeah, that was really cool. I thought that was I think that's my favorite fact, because everyone's like, we can echolocate.
Wait, this was an option?
Yeah, I mean, apparently that paper says that you could still do it when you're an adult. It's just a way harder. I think that's true for most things, but especially echolocation. Like that seems really difficult.
That's
the Shoomimians are kind of Gamba addicts, so they love the Mayo command.
They really do. It's funny, I didn't think after the first wave they would keep doing it, but every so often I just keep seeing Mayo, and I'm like, oh, there they go. Oh, there goes another one. This is a study published in Science Advances discussing the discovery of a microbiome within fish brains.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know that one. That's so cool. I gotta catch up on some papers. I feel like ever since I've been on my break, I haven't read a lot of science.
My sister just published her thesis, and I had to read it like 6 times.
Oh, that's so that's so good. That's so good. Wow, congrats to your sister.
Oh, it was a lot of work for her and for me. Because she's dyslexic. So every time she finished a chapter, she would send it to me and be like, Tenshi, does this look okay? And then she sent it to her thesis chair, and then it would come back to me and be like, my thesis chair did this, what do you think? Can the Shoominians have a brain command similar to Mayo?
Yeah, sure, I'll write it down. Let me just copy this message, and then I have a little to-do list on my Discord server that's private only for me, and then I paste stuff I need to do there.
That's a good idea. I have a mod log, and my mods could poke me there for things that I forget to do, which is often. Shoomimi, no, but they asked for it.
Shoomimi, yes. Shoomimi, yes. Hee hee hee.
To-do list? Yes, George. Some people actually complete their to-do list.
I sometimes do that, but most times I just kind of like pivot and do something else that's not the main thing I wanted to do. But then we get cool new emotes.
Ooh.
Because I stay up doodling those instead of whatever else I was supposed to do. So.
Aww. George has a redeem that lets people add things to his to-do list.
Aww, that's so cute.
Since you forgot you had a list, I did all my lists today. It was mostly crafting.
What did you craft?
I made labels for the jars in the kitchen, and then I had to fix my sister's graduation hat, and then I spray painted some stuff. And that was all the crafting I did
A good day
today.
of crafting.
It was. Whenever people tell me, like a woman says she has anxiety, I'm like, oh, so she can craft then. She's got a hobby.
That's so accurate. That's so accurate. All of my friends who are crafters, all are painfully anxious people.
Well, you said you crocheted, so I was like, oh, so she has anxiety.
I do. Before I haven't done this in a while, but I used to make little I used to make earrings out of polymer clay.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, and it was really fun, but then like, I don't know, I think like the first earring that I make, I think it well, I don't think I did it super well because learning process, right? So, I got kind of discouraged. I was like, no, the first earrings I made, it's so cute. I was sad. Yeah, but I might pick it up again.
You should. It's fun to have hobbies. Phyrexis would like to know, do you bake?
Not really, but also the main reason why all of the ovens I have had since I moved out of my parents' house has been weird. Like the first one I had, it was like way too hot on top and not hot enough. All of the heat came from on top, so then all of my cookies burnt on top, but they were raw at the bottom, and I was like, what is happening? And then my oven now, it works, but it's just very moist. It's like really wet and humid, and when I open up the oven door, there's just like a blast of like really hot, very wet air, and I'm like, it still works. Like I've baked some stuff. My sister loves to bake though. She loves to bake, so which also helps. But also means that I don't bake that often because she bakes a lot of cookies. So if I bake cookies too, there's too many cookies.
I mean, it's actually normal for an oven to have a heating element on the top or the bottom, and then you bake opposite the heating element. That's very normal. But a wet oven, I've never heard of. Might be good for making bread in.
I think I've tried that. I've tried a lot of things with my first oven. It just never things never came out right. And then so I think maybe the temperature that it says it's at is not actually the temperature it's supposed to be at. My friend who loves to bake, she was like, you should get like an oven
thermometer.
Yeah, an oven thermometer. But I was like, I barely bake anyways. So yeah.
What is your favorite sweet treat? This is for both of you if you're willing to answer.
Ooh, I like frozen thingies. I like popsicles. I like to sometimes I like to pour like a little fun drink into a popsicle mold, and then I'm like, or watermelon juice. That's a good one. It's my favorite. Yeah. What's your favorite sweet treat?
Oh, it really depends what I'm in the mood for, but it's mostly always cookies. I love cookies.
Like, especially like freshly baked cookies. Oh my god, that's like so good.
Yeah.
So good.
My family once a week makes me make brown butter chocolate chip cookies.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. I just like cold desserts, but specifically, I like icy desserts. So,
I love snow cones.
Yeah, or like shaved ice in general is so good. Sometimes I just blend up a lot of ice and then I have like a little syrup to make drinks, but then I put some on it and I'm like, yes, this is good.
There used to be a snowball stand near my primary hospital, so every time I went to an appointment there, I would get a snowball afterwards, and I was like, this is my treat for being very brave.
My little sweet treat.
My sweet little treat.
It's so cute.
What's your go-to ice cream flavor?
Oh, like, if like it's a flavor that you can access easily, strawberry. I love strawberry.
Oh,
It's my favorite.
It's my sister's favorite too. She loves strawberry anything.
Me too. I love strawberries. It's my favorite fruit, and I
love mango.
Yeah. Oh, mango's so good. I think I'm slightly allergic to mango because, well, I think I am allergic.
Are.
Yeah, because I was like eating a mango and I'm like, my mouth feels tingly, and my friend's like, that's not normal.
It could be so the outside of the skin of a mango is related to poison ivy. So a lot of people are actually slightly allergic to mango without realizing it.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Nice. Shoomimi, do you know what a vegetable is?
Yes, I do. I cannot have a meal without a vegetable. I can have meals without protein just fine, and I wouldn't be sad. But I need some kind of vegetable, even if it's like, if I have like no fresh vegetables, or cooked vegetables, I will go for like pickled vegetables too. I want vegetables.
She needs the greens.
I love vegetables. I eat carrots like a bunny. That's my main snack that I have. Vegetables and hummus.
The rabbit food.
Rabbit food.
I'm kind of like the opposite. I love proteins, which is weird because I'm a vegetarian, but maybe that's why I crave them.
Maybe your body's like, please.
Please, we need a tofu. Christmas sweet of choice, if applicable.
Oh. What counts as a Christmas sweet? That's different than like a normal sweet.
I don't know. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I've seen a lot of like Christmas desserts. I think Muddy Buddies are fun.
Oh, I don't know what those are.
In some places they call it like Moose Munch or something. It's like Chex with peanut butter and powdered sugar.
Oh, I think I've heard of that, but I've never had that. Interesting.
Some places they also call it Puppy Chow.
Oh. Oh, wait. I think I've seen that online before. I've never had it, but
it's good. Like,
I've never had
surprisingly,
Chex
for
either.
Something that's so simple.
I mean, we kind of celebrate Christmas, but only really as like a formality or like an excuse to spend time together, like not for any kind of other reasons. We don't really, I guess, like the holidays are just kind of like, we just have sweet treats. I don't have a ton of sweet treats all the time. I have little things here and there every once in a while. So I guess the holidays are just anything sweet, I guess, would be a sweet treat.
Any sweet little treat.
Yeah.
Can you teach Tenshi what a vegetable is?
Do you not eat a lot of vegetables? Is that why you're being called out like this?
No, I told them what my favorite vegetable is, and they're like, Tenshi, that's not a vegetable, it's a fruit. And then I was like, what about this vegetable? That's a legume. How about this vegetable? That's a flower. So what the heck is a vegetable?
What did you say was a vegetable? That
I told them I really like orange vegetables, like squash and pumpkin. And they're like, Tenshi, that's not a vegetable. What about beans? I really like beans. Those are legumes.
Beans are legumes.
Cauliflower. Those are flowers. So I literally have no idea.
They're being a bit pedantic because, like, I mean, typically if you say, oh, cauliflower is a vegetable, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna put tomatoes in a fruit salad.
Exactly.
Those are fruit. See, they're doing it. They're doing the thing. My chat is gaslighting me again. Thoughts on nootropics?
Ooh, I actually don't know too much about nootropics. I didn't actually know what nootropics was until I had Gamer Subs. But from what I understand, it's like an alternative to like typical caffeine that helps you that like helps you be like, you know, energized without being I don't really know, but I can say that with my personal experience for nootropics, which is just me drinking gamer subs, it's better for me personally, my brain personally, than like coffee or tea traditionally, because coffee and tea makes me anxious, like really anxious, but for some reason it doesn't have the same kind of effect. Don't know why. Everybody's bodies are different, so this just happens to work for me. It makes me, I guess, like have energy without being super, super, super nervous.
So,
But I don't know too much about nootropics, to be honest. Apart from that,
they fall into the same category as Adderall and Ritalin.
oh really?
Yeah.
Wait, am I thinking about something else? Let me look this up.
Maybe they were thinking about something else, but nootropics are a type of stimulant. They do go often into like energy drinks, so people say after taking them they think clearer. It's because it's directly related to things that make you think clearer.
I mean, I think that like stuff like Adderall and Ritalin are you know, they are prescribed for ADHD, right? And so some people, I don't think you should take any kind of stimulant, like medical stimulants, without being prescribed it.
Yeah.
But I think like things like supplements, I think supplements I'm normally kind of iffy about, because like there's no
FDA regulation on them.
Yeah, exactly. But I think like for most supplements, they're not too dangerous. I mean, everything you ingest definitely like has a limit, right? But like things like Adderall and Ritalin is like they're quite dangerous if you take too much of it.
Yeah.
But I think more mild stuff like this is it's okay. It's fine as long as you don't over. Yeah. Don't like take too much. I'm sure that even like the energy drink people, like gamer subs, I know that they have a thing where it's like don't drink more than this many a day.
Yeah.
So
even people don't even think about it. Like too many vitamin is not good.
Exactly. I think like most vitamins you can like get I think it's hypervitaminosis or something like that. Actually, I don't know if that's the correct word, but there is like you can definitely have too much of everything.
Yeah.
Even water, like you can have too much of everything. So
yeah. I know there's like a common misconception that you'll just like your body takes what it needs and it pees out the rest.
No. No, our body sometimes is silly.
Yeah, our body sometimes like, you know what, let's have some extra vitamin B12 today.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hoard it. The command is something against me. What do you mean it worked?
Something about you specifically, I guess.
Oh, there he goes again. Don't use the command if you don't want to get mayoed. So I've actually asked all of my questions, but do you guys have any more questions for Shoomimi? Anything you might want to ask to the big brain? Wait until they find out about Vanish. Oh yeah, you could just type !Vanish.
Yeah, we have Vanish too. I think it's less fun because it's not gambling, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your proudest moment academically without doxing yourself?
Ooh, that's a good question. I applied for a fellowship and a scholarship. Jesus. Sorry. I applied for a scholarship that was like for a specific department. A lot of other people in my program applied for that as well. I totally didn't expect to get it, but I got the scholarship. And it was the scholarship was like, so basically the scholarship goes towards my lab funding for my project, but also some of it, depending on your supervisor, you get some of it just like in your bank, in your pocket. And so it is, I think like for me, I have a really good supervisor, so I got like an extra 2K that month, and I was like, nice. But the scholarship itself was like 20,000. So I was like, oh man, and I only a couple people got it. So I was quite proud of myself, especially because don't be like me, but I did everything last minute. Don't be like me. Don't do that. But I did everything last minute. the ADHD brain and the anxiety coming together
Yeah.
to try to pump out the best scholarship application that I could and sending it to my boss, where my boss was like, this is a little last minute. Please don't do this next time. I can't even like, because you're supposed to send your applications to your supervisor so they can kind of like, it's their job to like look over it and give you any
Yeah.
pointers. Also because your projects that you're doing are given to you by your supervisor, so they want to make sure that you're like, you know, portraying it correctly, and then you send it off. But like he didn't even really have time to look over it, and then so I just sent it in, and I was like, you know, whatever, I'm not gonna get it, at least I applied for it, and then I got it, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. And
That is
so
crazy. That's so cool.
yeah, thanks, I was proud of myself.
That's a really good thing to be proud of.
Thank you.
When will you marry Shrek?
We're already married.
Does Shrek know?
Yeah.
That's the important part. As long as it's, you know, consensual.
Yeah, he knows. He's in my basement.
Get in line?
What?
Is there a line to marry Shrek?
Excuse me, you don't want to challenge me. He's mine.
Is it because of Shrek the musical?
Yes, and also just in general, I think Shrek is just he's just so cool. He's a hero in every single one of his movies, and he's funny, and I love him.
Shrek 2 is a masterpiece. It's a great movie.
It is. It's my favorite. It's so good.
So the Shrek love isn't a bit?
It started off a little bit, like just a little bit. I was like, ha, you know, I love Shrek. And then people were like, oh, you love Shrek. And I was like, yes, I committed to it. But after rewatching all of the Shrek movies, I'm like, you know what? Shrek is kind of like Chef's kiss. He's like such a good character, and he's like so kind. He's a hero effortlessly, and
Yeah.
he's very romantic, and I'm like, oh, yes.
Do you consider yourself a morning person or a night owl?
The thing is, I like waking up early because that's when I feel the most productive and I can do a lot of things. But I always love staying up late. So I never wake up early. And also, a lot of my friends are up really late. So I think that's also part of it. And my roommate and we live in like a 2-bedroom apartment, but it's really tiny. So if I wake up really early in the morning, I have to be really quiet to make sure that she sleeps enough.
Yeah.
So I don't like wake her up and stuff. But at night, I feel like there's a bit more okay of a pass for me to be not like loud, but if I wake her up a little bit, it's like less annoying because she'll be like, oh, I still have like 7 hours to sleep versus like I only have 1 more hour and you woke me up. You know, yeah.
Yeah, I get that because my house is full, and thankfully the rest of my family are late risers. Except my dad, he's the only other morning riser. So like, I can be up or sleeping because they'll all be quiet. But usually I get up early. It's because Mike Myers is also Canadian.
I didn't know he was Canadian.
Is he?
I mean, I have no feelings towards Mike Myers. I have feelings towards Shrek. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, guys, don't get confused.
Don't get it twisted.
When will you let the Shoe Minions out of the basement?
They're free to leave. They used to be locked in there, but now they can leave whenever they want.
It's the illusion.
I'm remodeling the basement to be nicer. Come on.
We go to the yard to make out?
Yeah, whenever I take a little break and also to run ads, I have a scene where it's the yard and they go over there and then Chad started this first, but they started like, they didn't want the ad watchers to feel left out, so then they just started smooching the ad watchers, and now it's just a thing that they do.
That's funny.
Yeah.
If Shrek didn't exist, who'd be your number 2?
Waluigi.
I feel like this is a natural progression.
Right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
talked about this I think last week on stream where I was like, Waluigi, kind of great. Mm-hmm. There's no electric fence, okay? That's not a thing. Stop lying.
Yeah, you guys could leave the yard maybe.
You can.
She was fast with that answer. Yeah, that was a really fast answer.
I was thinking about it. I think I was playing like Mario Party with my roommate and I was like, you know what, Waluigi, chef's kiss. Have you seen him in Mario Tennis Aces? He takes off his hat and then he like holds a rose in his mouth and I'm like, oh my goodness.
I have not no.
I also just like the way he goes wah. Silly.
Our legs are too little to climb the stairs on our own. Do you have a mascot to represent chat?
I do. I can send you a photo.
Yeah.
And they do have little legs, but I could try to I could try to provide some kind of, you know, like those chairs that you could put on the side of a stair.
Yeah.
The stairs and then you
Like
just
for
like go up.
dogs.
Yeah. Or a little ramp. I could do a little ramp.
Yeah.
My dog has little legs.
We have,
Okay, hold on.
we had one for our last dog, and this dog does not need it. She's a jumper. Oh
This
my
is
gosh,
okay.
he's so
I sent it to you.
scrunkly. I love him. He's so scrunkly.
I tried to doodle some variant of like a cell or like something like that to kind of match the brain vibe. Oops, the brain vibe, and so that was the. I think he's pretty cute. He's pretty simple, so it's easy to make emotes of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love him. I love the shoe minions. It's so. I think they just look really cute too. Very silly.
He's very cute. Round is a friendly shape.
Yeah, exactly. Peak physique.
Just
a blob.
truly. Is Waluigi also your favorite Mario Kart racer?
Mario Kart, it's dry bones. But Mario Party, if Waluigi's there, I always choose Waluigi.
For new streamers, would you recommend sticking with one category or being more varied?
Oh, I think like at the beginning I used to really like emphasize on what categories I was streaming I mean, it's still like sometimes what I think of, but I think now having a community, I think about more what my community would have fun watching. But I know when you start out that's not really an option. So I think when you start out, there's no harm in trying a bunch of different things and seeing what sticks with you the best.
Yeah.
And so, like, for example, I never really played any FromSoft games, but at the beginning of streaming, I played some Elden Ring because it was really popular at the time, and also I've always wanted to play Elden Ring. And also, it happens to have a community of very supportive people who will come in and be like, hey, even if you're really bad at the game, let me try to talk you through it. And that made me feel really supported, and it was very sweet. This is when I had like 5 people in my streams and stuff. It was still, people came in and said hello. They love seeing new players play Elden Ring. I think like, it doesn't have to be Elden Ring, but like, fan bases who are more dedicated to a game, it's kind of sweet to play at the to do at the very beginning of stream because you'll have people coming in, they're really excited to see new people playing. But aside from that, do what you like. You know, you could stream what you like to stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Are there any collabs you have planned in the future that you can reveal to us?
Oh. I think nothing's set in stone. I don't think. Okay, I plan collabs like fairly most of the time, quite last minute. So nothing's set in stone yet. But I think I have like Ellie, me, and Honey are part of like our little silly team, V-Robo. And we gotta have a V-Robo collab at some point. So yeah.
Yeah. Are there any cool collabs you have planned in the future that you can't reveal to us, but will anyway?
No.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I don't have anything planned that far in the future.
yeah, I think most streamers just only plan like a week ahead.
Mm-mm-mm.
Can you make up some fun collabs that don't exist?
Ooh, I really want to play Grounded with Ellie because Ellie loves bugs, and I think that'd be really fun. But you could play with like 2 other people as well. So I'm like, I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. Aside from that, let's see. I mean, I love Minecraft in general. I think it'd be cool if like there was like a Minecraft server that a lot of us can like build stuff in, and like apart from our community Minecraft server. Let's see what else. What else? I mean, I think like Ellie and I have floated some ideas around. We have so many ideas for collabs and stuff,
Mhm.
and so they're all just kind of pending.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
I
should
know.
say what they are though, but also some of them it's just like you throw ideas out there, they're not like set in stone. That's also why I don't want to say some things because then
Yeah.
I'm like, because then at that point I'm like, if it doesn't happen, then like, then I don't want people to be like upset about it. Oh, I have an interesting thing happening this Saturday. And that's the most I will talk about it.
It's all you get, chat.
It's all you get. Something happening this Saturday. Swing by if you want to find out what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Any thoughts on deciding what time of day to stream?
Ooh, I mean, I think of course, if you are free like all day, right? If you're free all day, then I guess like some people say try streaming after like work hours, but work hours is very different depending on time zones and stuff like that. I think this is kind of hard. It's something you try to pick out over time as to what times are the best for streaming. But if let's say you want to if you like I don't know, if you think that you'll get mostly like North American viewers or EU viewers, like you can try to plan times around then. I think for me, over time, a fair amount of people who watch me are from the EU. Not everybody, of course, but like a fair amount of people are. And so I try to move my streams to a time where it's like, when it goes long enough, like I think everybody can at least catch a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And if you have like other streamers that you kind of know you share a lot of community with, what you could do is that you could stream in some off time, so you're not streaming at the exact same time. You don't have to do that. I think like you could stream whenever you want. But let's say if you're like, let's say like you and your VTuber friend, your streamer friend happen to be streaming every day at the same time, then maybe you could do like a couple hours earlier, a couple hours later. So then there's a bit more of a staggered,
Yeah.
schedule.
And then
I
you
think
can
a lot of
raid into
people.
them.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of corporate, a lot of like VTuber corporations, they choose time slots. I think for this reason, to make sure that like everybody kind of gets their own time that isn't overlapping.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When is the Shoomathon?
I haven't set the date in stone yet, but it will be sometime in January. I was originally thinking like January 5th, but I think I will be, because that was the very first day I started streaming 2 years ago. But I think I might be like in a car most of that day. So I don't know what day, but it will happen in January, hopefully at some point. But basically, it'll be my first subathon ever, and I'm very nervous. And so I haven't even really done a lot of stuff to plan for it yet, but I'm going to do that. I will plan, and I want to make subathon super fun. And I also practically already want to stream every day, so it's gonna be a breeze.
It'll be fun. They go by quickly. Would you recommend putting multiple time zones in your schedule for those in other countries?
Ooh, so I primarily share my schedule on my Discord. So I have a little Discord server for community building. It's also like a nice place to like hang out and have like a lot of, I guess, conversations when you're not streaming. And in there, there's a way to find like a timestamp. I think it's called Sesh, SESH. But you can look up timestamp converter, and it basically, if you put in the time for you, you can copy whatever little text it shows you, and then when you paste it in Discord, it'll show the time per person. I only knew about that because David told me about that, so thank you, David. But for my actual schedule, I write my own time zone, which is EST. Yeah.
Yeah, I only put EST on mine.
I mean, I think it's just like a little extra thing. I think like you could, yeah. It's just easier for people to find out when.
If you want to stream every day, is there a specific reason you don't stream every day?
Yeah, I think the reason I don't stream every day is because there's a lot of stuff off stream I want to do that is like related to stream or the community. Like I promised a cover so long ago and I still have yet to do that. I tried recording it and then it was like, I was like, oof, this is rough. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that now. It's mostly like basically I want to work on like the back end stuff of stream to make streams more fun and like find cute little things to do and new little things to add. And also recently it's been playing on the Minecraft server because I want to play Minecraft.
Yeah.
But also that's like also community time, So I think aside from that, like I still haven't really done this, but I was thinking about putting merch out there and I really haven't like gotten my time to really hammer things down. Always like things I want to commission as well because when the stream minions are really kind and they give me subs, I always try to put that money back into streaming things as much as I can. Of course, if I need to use the money for living, then I will. But
I do the same thing.
Yeah, and then so it's like just a lot of planning and aside from that, honestly, a lot of I do hang out with quite a few of my VTuber friends off stream as well. So like if I'm not streaming every day or if I'm busy, I might be also spending time with them or spending time with like my IRL friends or so I try to put a lot of work into stream even off stream. Because I love streaming, but sometimes I'm like, oh man, I stream so much that I didn't have enough energy or time to do the back end of things.
There's a lot of life to live offline too.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to have a balance, but I'm almost getting there. I'm almost getting to a healthy balance.
One day.
Yeah.
We have Shoomimi on.
Hello. I do spend time on other streams too, yeah. But I'm doing something at the same time. If I'm like hanging out in Honey's chat, I'm doodling most of the time. Silly emotes or stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to just like hang out in other people's chats and then be working on your stream stuff on the side too.
Yeah,
I know we talked about merch already. I was gonna ask what merch you wanted for the future, but then I remembered we talked about it.
Ooh, that's like fancy merch. In terms of like actual merch, I would want to get hopefully soon. I think, I mean, just in general, I think I want to wait for like a plush because I feel like I think that is like a farther goal, but maybe like little stickers, maybe like a pop socket, maybe a desk mat would probably be the biggest thing, also because I need a desk mat. So I'm like, well, I might as well. Prints are good, and then I think there was this idea where like it's like a beanie but it's my brain jar.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Which is really cute, but also not easy to wear outside though. So yeah.
Shoomimi loops and brain jar headphones when? Stickers when?
That'd be so cute. Stickers, I think, are very possible. I think also a reason why it's taking me a bit is wondering whether or not I think my own art is good enough for stickers. Because you're always your harshest critic, and
Yes.
I haven't been drawing for like a long time. So sometimes I think like, oh, this would be like a really cute like little pop socket or like a little cute sticker. But then I'm like, is this cute enough? Is this
Yeah.
good enough to want to put out there? But I think like my friends made a good point where they're like, hey, also like you made it, so that would like add a little bit of extra like pizzazz.
Yeah.
So
An actual snow globe with a brain in it.
oh, that'd be so cool. I don't know how feasible that would be now, but maybe in the future.
Yeah.
I don't
That'd be
know.
really
I don't
cool.
know. Your art is good. Thank you. You guys are see, they're so sweet to me.
It's
They're
because
so
you
nice.
deserve it. Everyone deserves to have people who are nice to them.
I'm very lucky. I think that every single day I like wake up and I stream. I'm like, oh my gosh. So sweet.
How much time do you spend drawing slash doodling off stream?
Typically if ooh, that's a good question. I'm not always doodling, but if I'm like hanging out in a stream, typically I am either gaming or doodling. So um I do try to relax as well on off days so I don't get too burnt out.
Mm.
Um It really depends. I kind of like do things in bursts of excitement and activity, and then
Yeah.
I will pump out like 6 emotes and then I will stop. so recently I think like some of my chat knows I've been staying up really late and to make like it's not even like super nice emotes or anything, but I'm like, ooh, I want like a Shoominian version of this emote or something like that. And then I would doodle that up and I
Mm.
just silly. Yeah. Mhm.
To play Soul.
One day I showed stream I like to play Mahjong Soul, which is just like I like playing Mahjong, so I played that and then
Oh, not another genre.
chat chat made fun of me. Chat made fun of me. Yeah.
I know a lot of people that play Mahjong Soul.
It's fun and like I mean a different variant of mahjong because like mahjong soul is Japanese mahjong, but I play like a Chinese mahjong with my family, and
Yeah.
so some of it is like practice. It's not like fully transferable, but a little bit, because I am preparing for when I go to their place and I'm gonna beat them in mahjong.
Mahjong hustle. Yeah, my mom is
Exactly.
a Mahjong hustler.
It's so fun.
She tries to make me play
I love
Mahjong,
it.
and then every time she forces me to play, I don't play to win. I play to not let anyone else at the table win.
That's a good thing, That's like the best thing you can do, not lose money. It's
That's
just
true.
less, yeah, depending on who you are, it might be less fun, but
Oh,
because
she
I'm
asked
like,
me to
ooh,
stop playing.
I want to win.
It's like, good, this was the goal all along.
Like, okay, that's enough.
Maybe win one game on stream and I will stop. I won't.
It was only once. I just played one time. I'm okay, to be fair, I did lose every single round in that match.
Oh no.
But it was like I swear I'm decent at it. Okay. Yeah. Also, I love chatting Tenshi, but I do need to get some food
Oh yes,
and go
of
to bed
course.
soon. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and being my guest. I had a wonderful time talking to you.
It was so fun. Thank you for having me on. I felt so fancy. I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Do you mind if I take a picture before you go?
That's so cute. I would love that.
Yeah. All right, I'm
I
going
would
to
love that.
move in a little closer.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Cute. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for letting the shoe minions just like, spam a lot and gamble. They
It's
love the
okay.
gambling. They love the gambling.